Hello and welcome to another episode of Manifest Actual Play. We are here. I am Tommy Cotton. With me as always, Dan Barron, Addy Gia, Seth Lilly, Roman Milan, and we are here to play some Manifest. But before we jump into the recap and the actual play, I'm going to toss attention over to these lovely people so they can talk at you about some stuff. Who wants to go first?
Let me tell you about charities.
Yeah.
Charity.
Every month, we like to highlight a new charity to give our platform to. They do good work, and if you have any time or money and you would like to give your platform to them as well, we would really appreciate it. This month, our charity is GLSEN. It's GLSEN. They're the leading national education organization. They work to transform K through 12 schools into safe and affirming environments that ensure LGBTQ students are able to learn and grow in a place that's free from bullying and harassment. 8 out of 10 LGBTQ students are still harassed at school each year just because of who they are. But GLSEN is working to change that through research and developing evidence-based solutions and providing resources for educators to use in their communities. They're a really great charity. They do really important. If you have the time or the money or the interest to help them out in any way, we would appreciate it. That's me. I don't have to talk anymore.
I guess I could tell you that. No, you had an idea.
Literally, all I was going to do was who's next, so it's you.
Oh, wow, that's not awkward at all. I was just going to do the stream plug, which means we are here every Tuesday night at 9/8 Central, which you know because you're here. And if you'd like to be alerted when we go live, you can smash the follow button down below. Also, if you love our show, you want to support us, you can hit the subscribe button, and then you'll know when we're here all the time, whether you want to or not. But if you subscribe, we would assume that you want to. And if you've got Amazon Prime, you get one complimentary subscription to a Twitch channel, and all you got to do is hit the subscribe button and follow those instructions, and you should pick us when you do that. All the money we get from subscriptions, from the bits, from the cheers, from the gifts, and the donations goes straight back into the stream to improve the quality of viewing for all of you. And you can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter. And there might be something on Instagram, but you're going to have to find it, as Dan says every week.
Did you guys see the clues last week? There were two.
There were two. I saw them happen. Just search at Manifest RPG or at Manifest the RPG if you're trying to find us. If it's not one, it's probably the other. And that's me. I don't have to talk anymore.
Awesome. So thank you guys for being here. As far as updates from Waypoint Game Designs, we are making a literal big move in the next couple of weeks. So we are ramping up for that. We are relocating our headquarters and in general kind of coming together to start creating even more content for you. There is some cool updates coming up soon, including the merch updates, which are well underway. The guys have seen some of it, and it's been pretty good. So we are looking forward to sharing that with you. You can look for those updates in the next couple of weeks. If you have an idea for merch and you want a t-shirt or, oh my gosh, Seth rolled another misfire t-shirt.
Why would you put that in
Oh my god, we have to make a sequel to the natural one for Oberon.
Yeah, we literally for the podcast, we made a t-shirt about the fact that I always rolled one. So obviously it's got to say Grave Misfire for Porter.
Honestly, it could be 220s. It could say 2020 Grave Misfire.
Wow.
That's so good. If any of those ideas or any of your own ideas that you have, you can always pass them along, and I will do my best to bring them into being. Also, we are posting weekly our episodes here on YouTube, and eventually we're going to convert them into audio only format, but that takes a little bit longer. So we're still working on that. But for those of you who love the podcast format, we're going to try to do that in the back half of 2021. So that's on our project list. And we have, this is a pre-announcement. We've signed up for a convention. So we will let you know the dates, times, and locations of conventions as they come up. You'll be able to meet us the coolest people ever, and get Dan to fill out your rule book in the way that
bring your
you know.
silver Sharpies, and I will make one rule for you every time, no charge.
We might even supply silver Sharpies to Dan. So
I don't support this, but I can't stop it.
Convention exclusives, man. It's like you don't know how to run a booth.
It's called a DLC. You give us $10, we write your book. You can rip out a man's spine with telekinesis.
Downloadable content.
That's
We're the
all
Battlefront 2 of RPGs.
So that's all we've got for now. You can always follow us on all the social medias that Seth plugged. We try to keep you updated every week here. And then once we do redo our website, it will be much more up to date and much more palatable to look at. And I look forward to that. So there's a bunch of stuff coming up in the next 6 months, back half of 2021, that I'm really looking forward to. And so that is it from me. More updates to come.
All right. So that brings us around to the actual play. Before we jump into the recap, I want to let you know how you can interact with the gameplay. If you look at the bottom of your chat, you'll see you have channel points. We call them viewer grit. You can use your viewer grit to purchase grit for the players and the GM. It's a renewable or a usable resource in Manifest that we use to augment and change our roles. So if something's really important to one character, they can spend a lot of grit on it to mess with the role. You can, as soon as you purchase grit, it sits in a little queue, and you know, if I have to finish up a scene or something, we wait for a moment and then we pass it on to the player, and then they can use it immediately as soon as they get it to mess with stuff, or they can hold on to it and use it when it's really important. And you'll also notice that the grit that you can buy for the GM is so much cheaper. Such a great deal. Because when you spend grit on me and I use it against them, then they get grit. So it's all around just a great thing. And I see Ryak has excellent business sense and is going to give me a grit right now. It says world's best NPC. I want a mug. Look,
that's all cute and well and good, but you gotta be thoughtful, guys. Is this probably going to be a roleplay session? Yes. Are our arms in danger? Absolutely. If Tommy is in one of these screens, our arms are not safe.
I'm gonna get me an arm.
See, listen to him. That's legally a confession.
It's sort of wild that you've gotten mine twice, right?
Yeah. Fiddler Undone gives a grit to Porter for the short or for the shirt.
For the shirt, yeah.
All right, I'm writing it down.
Thank you, Fiddler.
All right.
2020
With
great.
the world's worst pencil.
All right, fantastic. So before we jump into a full-on recap, let's take a moment to look at our cool characters and the cool character art that we got from Cape May, because these characters are cool and we want to transport our minds into the world by looking at how cool they look. We'll be right back. And we're back. All right. So, the story thus far is that these four drifters met in the town of Waypoint, did a job together, and started down a investigatory trail to track down the meaning behind a symbol that they found on some of the bandits' gear that attacked them during that job. They found out later that that symbol belongs to the FPC, the Free People's Coalition. And they are supposedly an underground kind of freedom fighter organization with kind of independently operating cells that are working to protect people who are being basically persecuted by the Fort Dearborn militia and lawmakers. So they got this information, and along the way, they had a couple other breadcrumbs sprinkled around of different things that caught their interest. One thing is they briefly befriended a member of the Legionnaires of Astoria, a gunslinger in his own right, who was felled in combat, and requested that his guns be brought back to the Legionnaire Guild Hall. They also just recently were attacked by a mercenary group called Black Star, who they believe was hired by the militia because they ran afoul of some corrupt militiamen and women who basically seem to be embroiled in some kind of weird like black ops situation where they hunted down a man who had been turned into some kind of illuminated monster. His name was Jack Taylor. He had an FPC tattoo on his body. And so these drifters know that and saw that happen. And so they think they are on kind of the hit list from the militia, and that the militia has sent Black Star after them. Black Star Mercenary Company, a company that Porter knows a bit about. I wouldn't say he's familiar with them, but he knows a bit about them because he has a friend who is in the Sheffield family, a criminal organization in Markham's Landing, one of the few criminal organizations on Manifest who has severed ties with Black Star due to their kind of disagreement on how they handled a contract about a few years ago. Porter was also given his first ever ticket to potentially go back home to his family. Porter has been away from his family for some time now because he was working with the family a little bit, and things went sideways, and he had to kind of be maybe the fall guy and leave. He had to leave town because things went sideways. And so his contact in the family, Rund, told him that the person in charge of Black Star, is it Henry Fawcett? Mr. Fawcett, yes. I know
yes,
his
yes,
name.
it is.
Yeah, has what is referred to in the underworld as as filament, which is a term used to refer to proto-martyr technology. The proto-martyrs, of course, being a technically advanced cult that rose and almost leveled the Badlands about 20-ish years ago. So apparently, Henry Fawcett has some unmodified, undamaged, totally functional filament, proto-martyr technology. And if Porter were to retrieve that technology for the family, he would be able to return to Markham's Landing and rejoin his family there. One of the very last things that happened in the last session was they were figuring out the best way to go to the town of Las Brasas, which is in the middle of the Badlands. It is where they know how to get in contact with the Free People's Coalition. And also Porter raised the idea of Rund's kind of job offer to Dex, and Dex, understandably, is not incredibly comfortable with Proto-Martyr tech being transferred into the control of, planetary or a global crime syndicate. That's about where we left off. The current plan, as I recall, is Porter has a friend in a Nomad pack called the Gray Riders who's going to be passing through Waypoint not too long from now. And so your plan is to jump in with a Nomad pack in the town you're currently at in Lonesburg. And that Nomad pack is called the Road Banners. You're going to hop a ride with the Road Banners to get to Waypoint, and then jump on with the Gray Riders, and they will take you all the way to Las Brasas. Is currently the plan at work. You have kind of 2 days until the Road Banners show up here in Lonesburg. You have all the rest of today, and then they're showing up late tomorrow night. They're going to pass through Lonesburg, and that's when you'll be able to get transit to Waypoint. So that's the general recap of what's going on. It is kind of early in the day, after kind of Porter gets like the info on the various Nomad packs. I know Eloise is doing a bunch of crafting and repairing of certain items. But yeah, you guys have a little bit under like a day and a half left, basically, to do whatever it is you want to do. I'll tell you right now, Lonesburg, very small. There's not a lot going on in this town. There's not a lot to see. You are in the one saloon in town. There is a church, stables, a butcher, a laundry, a well works, and the LRC post as well. There is no sheriff. There is no mayor.
Well, I have 12 to 16 hours remaining on this heavy armor that I'm making, so that's just what I'm doing. So
okay, that makes sense. If you want to roll for that, go ahead.
Well, I mean, I already rolled for it. I'm just doing it.
Oh, right. You've succeeded. That you're just spending the time. Okay, cool.
Yeah. I think it's probably about 12 hours, but I wasn't sure how much time had passed, so.
Sure.
That's why I said 12 to 16.
Yeah. Well, by the end of tonight, you will have completed the heavy armor you're working on.
Hooray.
Anyone else getting into anything? Is there anything people want to achieve as time passes before the Road Banners show up?
I know that Porter probably wants to get rid of some of these injuries, and maybe help other people if that's possible. So I'm gonna do some medical work.
Does anyone have any untreated injuries right now?
Oh, for some reason
I think it might just be you now, Porter. I think you're
just me. Well, that's just fine then. Okay. So I'll
it gets a little
myself
R&R.
then. I know that. What's there's a negative modifier for that, is that correct?
Yeah, working on yourself, you're gonna be working on a -2.
Okay, cool.
We have a talent that negates that called like self-care.
No, not currently.
Write it down.
It's a mechanical hole.
You got $10. You see us at a convention, I'll give you some self-care.
Wow.
I don't like that sentence.
I think from a legal standpoint, we need to clarify. He's talking about
about an amendment, and that is all.
I've got this tonic of dubious quality and side effects from the bandit hideout that we hit with Caldwell.
Sure.
So at some point in the next day and a half, I'd pass it off to Porter just to see what it does. I know it heals.
Yeah, let me go ahead and I have to scroll to the part where that loot is. Yes, Kyle Peters, Michael Garcia.
Oh, come on.
No.
No.
Not
My first roll
Not here.
was 2 19s and a 20. 2 19s and a 20. And it was the new die. It was the new one. What is this?
Well, you have some reliability, so it might just be a normal misfire.
That's not how
I
misfires
do
work
have-
out.
No,
I didn't think so.
the reliability.
If you succeed, the reliability.
Yeah,
I
because
thought
you
it was
can't.
before
The whole
roll
thing
for
is you
everything,
can't.
though. I know.
Oh, sure.
You can't re-roll the
You
20.
can grit into it.
Yeah,
Oh, got it. But you can reliability into less.
yeah,
less bad.
Okay,
yeah.
So that is 2 successes. It did explode. So
Okay,
It's a
so
regular
you
misfire.
you just have a
Why does
normal
this keep
misfire.
happening to me?
You have a normal misfire. Okay. So here's what we gonna do, Porter. You're going to you treat your injury. I don't know if that's enough for it to be fully treated or not.
It's the same as the number of rests that are left.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yep. That's correct.
So yeah, because of my doctor talent, which reduces the number of hits required to treat an injury by 1, I am no longer wounded in my head.
Okay, cool. You treat your head injury. But basically, you like you're sitting up in your room and you're like you're not like doing any incredibly like tough surgery. You're like, basically concocting a serum for you to drink that will like help like reduce the swelling and stuff like that. You're basically making some quick medicine and then applying like some care to like your head. You like kind of like add some electrodes to your head and like run a course on your med kit and then like apply like cold intermittently. But as you're doing this, you start realizing you have like a really, really bad side effect from the medicine you made. And it like gets like worse and worse. You realize like your throat is closing up and you're like kind of starting to go into like anaphylaxis. And so really quickly you like rush over to your medical supplies, you rip them open, and you pull out like a syringe and you jab your leg with a syringe and you use up 1 first aid cube.
Sure. That's nice. I also realized that I had one more reliability, and I did roll that. Now I have a question. That's 1 more success. Does that also reduce the on my second injury? Can I treat that? Is that feasible?
No, each
With
roll
that
is for
success. If I have 2 rests left, yeah.
Yeah, each
one.
roll is
So
for
it's
the injury
no
that
matter
you were
what,
treating.
I just
Yeah.
perfect. All right. Just what I had to make sure.
I know why I'm getting confused. Here's the loot. And then Dex stops by at some point to have you check out a tonic. Dex, you come in. Porter's looking like a little pale. His eyes are like a little like buggy as he basically has shot himself up with adrenaline to stop himself from going into anaphylactic shock. But he's like packing away his med kit at the moment you come in.
Hey,
Hi Dex, how you doing? Hi.
are you okay?
I took a bit of a spicy tonic, so I had to take some adrenaline to counteract the problems. How are you doing? What did I do? What's that?
This is a healing tonic. I don't know what else it does. We found this from the bandits we fought with Caldwell. I was hoping maybe you could
so
figure it out.
Not a brimstone tonic then. Okay, sure. Then I'll unpack the medkit that I just packed up, and I'll try and do some readings on it.
I imagine this tonic is in like a mason jar with like a scotch tape label. It says "if hurt," and Porter's like, so not a brimstone tonic.
Yeah, there's like half a leaf in there.
So you said that this thing is what, a poor quality that heals 6 hit points?
I don't know what the quality is.
Oh, okay,
it heals
cool.
3 hit points.
Okay, it heals 3 hit points.
Who knows what else? Could be anything. Could kill you.
Emma Thompson could read your future in this tonic.
And you're sure it heals 3 hit points? Interesting.
I don't know where else I would have gotten a 3 hit point healing tonic.
Maybe you just
that
assumed?
I don't know what it does.
I think
Well, hey, I never used it, and I don't know what it does.
I think you just assumed it was because it is actually a tier 2 healing tonic. It heals 6 hit points. And Porter, you got 1 success more than you needed to treat your injury, right?
That's correct. Yes.
Yeah. Don't worry about rolling it. A little bit of time spent with this tonic.
Thank you.
You can carry forward that extra success to find out that this is a standard quality 6 hit point healing tonic that gives you shortness of breath and irritable bowel syndrome.
So just you don't want to use it right in the middle of the desert unless you've got some toilet paper handy. But other than that, this is a perfectly fine shortness of breath too. But you don't worry about that. It should be good.
Sounds like honestly a truly horrific combination of things to happen to you all at once.
It's not a pretty picture. That's true.
I was just going to say with the mechanical irritable bowel syndrome is you roll at the end of every at the end of each of your turns, you roll a d20. If it comes up 20, you lose all of your initiative.
It's not more than you lose.
You know what I mean?
and shortness of breath means that the GM can make you roll extra fatigue tests for less strenuous activities because you are because non-strenuous things become strenuous.
Like I said,
I
truly
think
horrific.
the tonic might actually have a little moonshine in it as well. Like those are just like extra results just from bad alcohol.
It has coffee and moonshine and a leaf in it.
Basically a dirty 4 loco. Yeah.
Oh. Okay. I hope I never need this.
I'll tell you what, if you need a healing tonic, ask me first. And if I'm out, then you should use that one. I think that'd make the most sense.
Sure. All right.
Or give it to somebody you hate.
I think that might be against my code. And like Dex like looks at this tonic. All right, Porter, I'll talk to you later.
Here's Dex, thanks.
And then after Dex leaves and as Porter's putting away his med kit, Gus walks in holding a tonic. Hey, Porter.
What? What's up?
I have this tonic.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering if you could well, I mean, do you want it? Or like you could you gave this to me and it's supposed to make me stronger, but I think I'm already too strong for it to work. I think I'm so strong that I can't get any stronger from this.
That isn't surprising, I suppose. I can think if it doesn't, if it doesn't give you the buff, then it doesn't give you the buff. I'll take it back. It's fine.
It's nice and it's like a good source of protein, I think, but it's not like
it's a good post-workout drink.
Yeah,
Yep.
I've been using it for post, but like it's just not really doing what I mean, I figured you could like sell it to somebody, or you could take it if you needed to be stronger. I just sort of don't need it anymore.
That's fair. I'll take it back. Well, thanks, Gus. I'm sorry that it couldn't have been more helpful. Do you want a different tonic? Is there anything that like I've got other things that I could just trade you for? There's a sleep tonic if you're having trouble sleeping, or I've got other healing tonics. Or
if the beds are as small in the Nomad pack as they are here, I might take you up on the sleep one. Also, this feels sort of nitpicky and like I don't know. I hate to ask about this, but like. There's a littler muscle tonic that still works on me. Like the big one I'm too strong for, but the little strong tonic That I could still make work. That's a good pre-workout actually. It gives you energy, sort of peps you up. It's like stretching. It's like stretching in a tonic. And that one I could.
Hold on, I'm just trying to find the tonic you're talking about.
It doesn't make my muscles more, but like all my various like skills that involve my muscles, I feel like they get better. Like I could swing a weapon or I can hit better, but like I don't feel stronger, you know? Maybe I'm more alert. I don't know. It's like stretching. It's like stretching in a tonic. I don't know how it could be more clear.
That, Gus, I think I might have sold those tonics, but you know, I can make you something like that. I still have the recipe somewhere. I could probably find it.
I
Or
mean,
could
I
just make you a new
appreciate it.
one.
Whatever you
Right.
want, or sleep, or you know, I trust you. Dealer's choice.
No, just all right. Give me a second, and I'll unpack my med kit again, and I'll get in my crafting configuration. It's like well, you can wait if you want. It'll take about like,
Oh, I mean,
30
sure. If
minutes
you
or
want the
something
company,
like that.
heck, I don't.
Or I can bring it to you.
I mean, I don't mean to make requests. You know, you don't walk up to the bartender and tell him what you want, right?
I think that's exactly what you
Well, no,
do.
because they know more. You sort of ask them what you want, and then they'll give you something, and hopefully it's good.
I don't think that that's true, but if you know what I mean, you don't tell the bartender how to make the drink that they're making, but you ask them for the drink that you want, right? Just like you did.
I guess you could.
Might make their job a little easier.
Yeah.
In fact,
Huh.
you know, just thinking not I'm not a bartender or anything, but you know, if just thinking
Yeah,
about
'cause
it, I would want somebody to know what they
Sometimes I
wanted.
say like, "Hey, what do you recommend?" or "What's good here? What would I like?" And they give me sort of a look, and I figured it meant like they were busy or mean. I guess I didn't realize that I was the one being wrong in that situation. But that makes some sense now that I'm really thinking about it.
Out of character as a bartender, this is the funniest conversation I've ever had.
some quality bartender humor for here on Waypoint Live.
I think like 4 out of the 5 of us were bartenders at
Yeah.
one point, so we're just like really rolling with it.
Yeah.
My lord.
Gus Wood.
He doesn't know.
Yeah. All right. So you're making you're making a class 1 tonic that gives +1 to muscle skills?
Yeah, I think that's what he's asking me for. Absolutely.
Okay. Go ahead and roll first aid.
That is 3 hits on first aid.
You make an excellent quality. You make 4 because you have the talent to do so. Doses of this excellent quality tonic means no side effects.
Excellent. +1 finesse skills, right?
Yep.
Muscle.
Not
Oh,
finesse,
muscle
muscle skills.
Mhm.
Good.
You make 4 doses of it.
And I'll give my good friend Gus 2 of those tonics.
Oh dang.
And take the 1 back, which do you have the specs
Yeah,
on
the
that
side
tonic?
effect was laughter.
And I think it was excellent quality
Which would mean
plus
it only
1
had
to
one.
the skill, correct?
It was
To
to
the
the
attribute.
attribute.
That's right, to the attribute, right.
But do these have a side effect?
No, they shouldn't, right?
No, they're excellent
no side-
quality.
No side effect.
Dang. Look at me, Porter. I gave you 1 tonic and I got 2 back. Maybe I'm the traitor. Maybe I'm the bargain guy.
You don't get to be a peddler unless you know that you're called a peddler. That's like rule 1. That's what they told me anyway.
All right. Well, hey, I've taken my first steps. Made a deal, tilted in my favor, and I learned it's called a peddler. Boom, 1, 2. Hey, but
All right, now you have to teach me how to fight now, because now I feel like I'm being taken advantage of. I didn't until this moment, but
Yeah, hey, you got the tonic for it. All right, put them up. No, not like that. No, don't stand like that. No, your feet are wrong and your hands are wrong.
Okay. Just get it. I have things to do. Get out of here, Gus.
All right, I'm sorry, Porter. Hey, we'll talk about it later. I'm happy to teach you. You got the
No, thank you.
bye, Porter.
Goodbye, Gus.
Did you have one more injury you had to treat, Porter?
Yes, it was compromised.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, roll first aid. You got the med kit out. Might as well.
Molly's fucking well, right? That was inside the dice tower. I don't want to count it. No, but I'm rolling 4 dice, so the one doesn't matter. Okay, it's not a misfire. It's just one
Woof.
lonely 20 that can't be re-rolled. That's fine. That's 2 successes, which is more than I needed, and so I'm no longer compromised anymore.
Nice. All right. Fantastic. Yeah. So you realize like you've been a little dizzy, and you're getting like every once in a while like the room spins. You have to kind of clear your head. And you thought it was the head injury, but it happens again. You're like, hold on a second, and you do like another scan on yourself and realize, oh, I need some fucking like vitamin D or whatever, and you
Electrolytes, man.
yeah. And then you're good.
Chug a Gatorade, solid.
You both create and drink Gatorade. All right. Anyone else had anyone else have anything they want to achieve either today or between now and the end of tomorrow?
At some point, Gus probably grabs Dex, and he's like, "Hey, we're gonna be on the road for a little bit. You think Rico's gotten up to anything else, or
We could check.
it might as well."
Yeah, I'll go check. See if there's a new issue of A Light in the Darkness.
Last time you guys checked was before you headed to Loner Pass or before you headed to
We finished it before we met Caldwell, I think.
Yeah, okay. You haven't checked since then. Yeah, absolutely. There's another issue of A Light in the Darkness. Now, if I recall, we last left Rico Kazik as he basically realized he was being like mentally manipulated by some vampires.
He was trapped in an inside dream. You can say it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was being incepted by some vampires.
And he realized he was asleep. He woke up and then killed them with sunlight, and he was not a vampire like he originally thought he was, and all was well. Okay.
Classic
Perfect.
Rico.
So this one picks up a little bit later. It's actually kind of cute. Like I can imagine Gus's face when you guys glance at it and you see like just in the synopsis that like it's Rico's with a nomad pack. Like he's like jumped in a nomad pack for this episode.
Oh, Dex, we should save it. We should read it on the road. It'll be more sort of like thematic. It'll be like the one time there was like a play, and sometimes they'd throw water at you when there was like, oh, the ship's gonna capsize, and they'd throw water at the audience, and it was sort of fun. It was at the carnival they did that.
Wild. That's wild.
It's like, the environment matches sort of the
No,
content.
I understand it as you explain it. That seems advanced for a play.
They went all out. What can I say?
Cool. So yeah, you see the cover and it's like Rico hanging off the side of a car, and it's called the Road to Hell and Back.
God, this is my favorite thing in this whole campaign. The campaign's fun, and we're doing fun things, and y'all's characters are great. A Light in the Darkness of Rico Kasich is one of my favorite things on Manifest.
Yeah, you excitedly like tuck it away in your pack to read on the road. Eloise, you at the end of today, you finish creating the heavy armor that you're crafting for Porter. Basically, what you've done is you found like his like jacket. Like you didn't find, he gave you his jacket, and you've been like lining it with like kinetic resistant fabric and you know, you're replacing a lot of like the seams and stuff with like this kind of like thick lined material. So like what it's what it's going to end up being is like a little bit heavier on his body than he's used to, but like it like more or less is not that big of a difference for him. It's gonna like mess with his movement a little bit, and right now, because it's just baseline heavy armor, like it doesn't really look the same. Like the jacket looks like a long like it's got like like bare open parts where like the like metal and like material is like showing. Like it's very clear that he's wearing armor. It's like very bulky. But you said you wanted to continue working on it.
Yes. I wanted to make the socially adaptable mod next for it. So can I roll for that?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. It's class 1, so it should be real quick.
Oh yeah. And yeah, so it's machinery to roll this. You have to use up 3 machinery cubes.
Yeah. What's the threshold? It's just 2 hits?
Oh, to craft a class 1? Yeah, unless you're cutting corners, your target is 2.
Okay, great. Well, I got 3. So perfect.
Cool.
And that takes, I'm not cutting corners, so that takes
Yeah, it's 15 minutes with your med kit, unless you have, or not med kit.
15 minutes with my
your Omni tool. Yeah, you make excellent quality, so it takes up 1 less mod point. And what you do basically is you strip down some of the parts that you don't need. You reline the outside of the jacket with the same like kind of like worn and loved leather that like Porter has always had. You stitch it back up, and like you still like have like that like shoulder piece of armor showing, because it's like pretty important for like the integrity of everything else. It's kind of like the anchor to.
Plus, I have to like anchor some stuff on the inside of the jacket for that later.
Yeah. And so now Porter's jacket looks like it does in the character art.
Hooray. And then I'm going to start on a class 2 mod, which is hardened.
Okay.
Which I will roll. And that'll take 6 hours.
Okay. Per roll.
Per roll. But also.
But also, did you get 4 successes?
Maybe. Yes.
Cool. You make that excellent quality as well. And what you do is you use that that shoulder piece that you've kind of lined all of that like heavy duty kinetic resistant fabric to. And you know that like if you give it a certain like length and duration of like electro treatment, like the fibers in it become even more hardened, and like the like kind of effectively, you know that like the space in between the parts of the fabric becomes tighter and more even more resistant to like damage. And so you do that to make it hardened, which I believe
I call it a smart weave.
It's a bit of a smart weave. Yeah, and so that makes it have 4 toughness instead of 2 toughness.
Correct.
Which, just so you know, Seth, when you wear this, it means every time you take damage, you reduce that damage by 4 before you determine any injuries or put anything on your hit points or anything like that.
keep this porter alive.
Thanks, Eloise.
So I guess I'm working on this until like 4 in the morning.
I mean,
or
you can
something?
sleep and work, like you can go to bed at a normal time and wake up in the morning and then do that for the first 6 hours of the day, right?
Okay.
And then on the second day, like in the middle of the afternoon, you have it complete. I assume, unless there's nothing else you can add, right?
Yeah,
that you
no,
want
there's
to
one
add?
more thing.
Oh, sure. What else are you adding?
It's the present that we talked about.
I forgot what that is.
Well, I don't want to say it out loud yet.
Oh wait, is it? It's okay. Yeah. Okay, that one you actually need to roll first aid or technology at a -2.
Right, I know, but
Okay.
I'm not there yet. Or are we just doing all the rolls now?
Yeah, I mean you might as well. This is what you're doing.
Okay.
Like
Right.
we've established that you have until the end of tonight.
So this is basically what I do for the rest of the time until they come.
Yeah, and then you won't have completed it by then, even on in the best of. I guess if you want to have worked overnight, you can.
Yeah, well,
But-
because it's 6 hours and 6. Oh no, it's a.
You're gonna
yeah,
still need. You're gonna still need a day and a half, unless you
Oh.
cut corners, because it's a class 3 item. This present.
Oh, this is class 3. For some reason, I wrote it down as class 2. That's my fault. Yeah, I did work overnight then.
Okay, cool. I mean, you still won't have completed it by the time that they show up, but you'll almost have it done. You'll have it done on the road.
Okay, that seems fine. So class 3 item. That's just 4 hits. Is that
You
enough, or
need
do
2
I
more.
need another? I have 3 crit.
You still can make it excellent quality in 2 rolls on class 3.
Yep.
If that changes the decision.
It just
But
will
it
mean
takes more time.
you'll need an additional day and a half.
Yeah, which I don't necessarily want.
You'll
Okay.
die in that day and a half.
Currently he's wearing my armor. So actually,
Well, so
Yeah,
his
luckily.
armor will be. He can wear this armor that you've made while you work on this mod, because the mod is made separate from the armor. And
well,
then it's
no, he's wearing my armor. It's fine.
well, okay. I'm saying like he can wear the jacket you gave him, like if you want. I'm just saying he has the option if you need armor.
I'm wearing her armor. It's fine.
There's a piece of armor that is functional while you're working on this, because you don't need the armor while you work on a mod. I'm just saying that in case there's a point where.
If shit really hits the fan, I will put this jacket on.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, okay. So I'm just gonna wait to roll for the next day and a half, and that'll give me something to do through Loner Pass.
Okay, cool. So yeah, Eloise is basically working all the way up into the point that the road banners show up. If no one else is up to anything, that night and time comes.
I think Dex checks on Eloise, sees that she's gonna work through the night, and make sure she's fine, so he doesn't just leave her alone in the dark. It's become a thing. And then goes up and sleeps in the largest bed he has ever slept alone in. Probably the largest bed he's ever slept in.
Fantastic. yeah, because she's like down in the saloon proper, just at a table, working on stuff. And then the night comes, and any of you who are resting at the time, late at night, you hear roaring engines coming into town.
Oh shoot! I thought, was somebody supposed to sell the horses? The 2
For
horses.
some reason, I thought we were doing that at Waypoint, but I can definitely make that happen.
Oh, how much
Wait.
is it to hitch a ride with the Nomad pack?
Porter, you know that it will cost you 4 spurs per horse, to get them to Waypoint.
All right. So 4 spurs per horse, and that's on top of what's the fee for the transportation?
So
for
you're
me as a
looking.
person.
You're looking at so the total, according to because you can find all of their pricing and calculate the pricing yourself, and then if you message them about anything strange, or like for instance, you know that you can get a good deal from your friend. But for the road banners, it's 3 spurs per person, 4 spurs per horse. Your wagon will cost 6 spurs, and the car will cost 8 spurs, because they're gonna have to load the car up. The car's not gonna be able to drive itself.
All right. Well, I can try and sell those horses then, because I mean, unless we split the fee, but
Oh no, it's fine.
I
mean,
don't-
as far as that, but like I think saving the 8 spurs isn't a bad idea,
right.
right?
I think that's
I mean,
fair.
I haven't even named these horses, and they might like the country life.
Yeah. So
They'll probably like it better than being hitched up to some giant loud nomad pack, even for a couple of days. So that looks really nice, by the way.
Thank you. It's still a work in progress.
I know, but it still looks really nice.
Well, it's good you like it because it's free. So.
And then you hear engines in the night, Porter.
But yeah, so Porter goes and sells the horses to the stables or something. The two.
Yeah, I mean the Nomad pack is showing up right now, so you're gonna like grab the horses out in front of the saloon and walk them over.
I should go do that. Yeah, right. I'll go grab the horses. I'll be back here. Don't let them leave without me, because they have a scheduled key.
I can go and help you out.
Yeah, no, that's yeah.
Cheers. Thanks, Scott.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go sell a couple of horses.
Yeah, I'm peddler in training, so.
Nice to have an apprentice.
So as you step out into the night, you see like all the lamps in town are lit, and a lot of people are actually awake at this like extremely late hour, like, and they're getting things ready to like send off with the nomads or waiting for things to arrive. And like you can hear the engines outside of town. The nomad pack itself is bigger than what you see, as you see like 3 large trailers roll into town and start getting unloaded. And Gus grabs one horse, Porter, you grab the other, you walk them across town to the stables, where a man in his 50s or 60s, little bit balding, clean shaven face, missing a few teeth, is setting out some stuff and like seeming to catalog it. And then you two walk up and he goes, howdy. Y'all been staying at the saloon. I was figuring you were heading out with the Nomads since you didn't want to stable up.
That's essentially the plan, right? Actually, we were trying to perhaps leave these horses here so that we wouldn't have to worry about the stabling. But yeah, I was wondering, are you short any horses? Because we've got a couple of fine ones right here.
Real fast, they're well trained.
Right. Just look at the musculature. Look at his chest there. Big broad chest, and I thump in his chest. Hoping he doesn't.
This horse
kick me.
could bench probably a lot.
I'm gonna take a look here real quick. So he goes to inspect one of the horses. He's like, well, I mean, sure, I could probably find some use for them. They do look pretty young. Let me take a look at them. And as he walks up, one of them bites his finger, and he looks at Gus and goes, well trained.
In a gunfight, I guess maybe they have good security measures.
He's just not familiar with it. He's well trained as long as you know his name. His name is Chester.
Right.
Yeah.
I try not to name horses myself. I mean, makes it hard when the Gloakis comes through and just makes them in bones, well, pretty fine stock. I'll give you 2 spurs for each of them.
What? That's a bad price, out of character. That's like not great for horses?
Because you know that these horses have a little bit of extra training, it's a pretty low price. You can, depending on where you are, horses can run anywhere from like 4 to 8 spurs when you're buying them. And you know that this one would be on the slightly pricier side, probably. Without you wouldn't get any other details beyond that, just without like a survival roll or anything like that. I suppose I would let you roll
sense.
contacts at a negative if you really wanted to like come up with the best fairest price. But I mean, just general knowledge, you know that's what you pay for like a not great horse or an older horse, that kind of thing.
Oh, for Chester and Helga here, I mean, come on, these are quite just fine horses. Just look, they're well taken care of. Oh, it's been a while since they've had a rub done. That's fair. We couldn't take less than 7 for each,
Especially for Helga. Helga's real good.
When I say 4 to 8, that's what you would buy them from a stables.
I know.
Okay.
He's
I'm
negotiating
trying to
up.
find the
I'm
middle
just
ground.
making sure that I was clear. I wanted to make sure you knew what you were doing. As you're talking to him, he does flag down a member of the Nomads, who's like kind of doing the rounds. He's like, these 2 boxes there, and how much to transport horses? And they say 4 spurs, 4 spurs each. He goes, all right. Well, wait, did you just say 7 to me, boy?
Look at him. I said they're gorgeous horses. They got nice teeth as well. They're well taken care of.
Go ahead and roll
It's a
manipulate.
thing.
Go ahead and roll
Can I-
manipulate. I will give you a -3 to this.
Do I get to
Minus 3?
assist?
Sure.
Yeah, Gus, you can roll manipulate to assist Porter.
Yeah. That's why I'm here, baby. I'm helping out. Bing Manning for these
So
horses.
this is my first impression with this gentleman, right?
Mhm.
Great, perfect.
Ooh, look at that. +2 at a Gus.
Right. That puts me back in my regular target. That's what I'm talking about.
And you are up against a 10.
And well. I wish I could re-roll that 20, but that's fine. Jeez. It's the same die as well. I know.
Is it a trick
Man.
die?
It must
If
be.
it rolls 20 every time, they're gonna know.
Gotta make it roll 23.
All right. Well, that's 1 success then over 10.
Okay. So he goes, did you just say 7 to me? I'll give you 3 spurs right now. But that's about it. Otherwise, you can pay 4 spurs to send them along the way. And they like start grabbing and like putting the crates on like kind of like a it's not quite hover tech, but it's like got these like kind of like high tech kind of wheels that seem to form their way around the terrain. And they're like loading up his last crate, and he goes, "What's it gonna be, boy? You didn't give me business while you were in
Alright.
town. Now you want to try and shill me over 2 horses?"
That's fine. I understand that. I can give you 3 for Chester. That's easy. But Helga, look at her. She's a sweetheart. Can't you just spare 1 extra spur for poor old Helga?
You're right. Maybe I should make it 2.
I'll take the 3 spurs if the offer's still on the table.
Absolutely. Some pleasure doing business with you. He reaches, he like walks over to a little like table where he's got a bin. He unlocks it, pulls out 6 spurs, and hands them to you, and then goes over to the nomad who's loading up his stuff, hands over a sack of spurs plus 8 spurs, and says, "Put these 2 horses on and give me a second. I'll give you a note for the DeCastros."
Told you they were worth 7 spurs, I say as I walk away.
All right. What got any notes, Porter? I felt like it went okay.
It went fine. We got better than we came for, which it was tilted in our favor technically.
Interesting.
But
I hear that's something you want to do a lot.
Usually, it is. If you want to gain experience in life in general, that's something that you'd like to do. So what you don't want to do is negotiate against yourself, especially if he's already set himself on a price. That was something you can learn from me as a mistake that I tried. Luckily, he was kind and leveled off at his acceptable price. But we should have gotten 4. I
Oh,
think
definitely,
they were at least worth 4 each.
certainly.
I just made that name up on the fly, don't you guys?
Oh, you're so confident about it. I assumed you knew their names.
See, I should have been selling these horses to you, Gus. That would have been.
Oh,
much
I don't
better.
have the Spurs for
All right,
them, I
you're
don't
learning.
think.
That's what matters.
Yeah, I guess it's worth it to learn. I'll give you some Spurs for for peddling lessons. That's my nice character. Is a grifter who sells peddling lessons.
Fantastic. Yeah, it's a pyramid scheme.
Yeah, it's get rich quick, baby.
All right, cool. So now you are 6 spurs richer and 2 horses poorer. As you finish up, and then you hear all of you, because at this point for sure Dex is awake.
Oh yeah.
All of you hear a voice calling out loudly into town, Porter Janus, and company.
Oh, right, Porter here. Hello.
I think probably I go too.
Yeah, I'm hanging out.
Eloise, Dex step out of the saloon. Gus and Porter, you head towards the. All of you head towards the person shouting out. It is a woman with extremely long hair that has been like braided and then like put back up to make like a 2 loops and still reaches like the small of her back. She's got a cybernetic hand that she actually has lit at the moment with like a little flashlight as she's like waving it in the air. And she sees you coming and she like shines the light over to you and goes, Porter Janus?
Yep, right, that's me.
She like clicks her hand and turns off the light. And she goes, right, we got your LRC. 4 of you, and what cargo you hauling?
I've got myself a wagon, and we, I believe my friend would like his vehicle towed as
I
well.
got a car. I guess you're not allowed to drive your car with the Nomad.
She takes she's like seeing the stuff is like parked behind you at the saloon. As you say that, she goes, not that car.
And Sinclair.
Oh, right,
horse.
and one beauty of a horse.
All right. Well,
Definitely a 4-spur horse.
well, yeah. I'd say that's a decent looking horse. At least you promise to take care of your animals. Right. So that's gonna be 30 spurs. Fork that over. 15 now, 15 at the end of the ride, and I'll lead you over to your carriage.
Great.
I give her 15 spurs.
Oh,
She takes the 15 spurs and says, all right, keys, ignition sequence. We need that information. Go ahead and tell this helpful fellow over here. Come on, Bolt. And like a younger nomad like comes out and like has a notepad and reaches out for any keys you have and is ready for any notes on it and says, I can take those and we can hook them up with some trailers.
Gus takes out his keys and like looks over at Dex real quick. Like,
This is fine.
he's been burned before, dang it.
We can talk about why this is different than last time later.
All right.
And for the
Learning all sorts
for
of
the
things.
automaton and the wagon.
Oh, I guess he's fixed, isn't he? Right. That here's the. I assume it's like a clicker for the automaton horse.
Yeah.
So I just kind of give him that, and just that the back right wheel's a little bit sticky, so just be careful of any potholes when you're getting it in the wagon, or you're not gonna drag it behind you, are you?
Oh no, hell no. We're gonna put those in a trailer. If you want, I can fix that wheel for you for a spur.
Oh, I'll take it. Why not?
And the kid
And
reaches out a
I'll give
hand
him a
for a spur. And
I absolutely know that wheel is definitely has been fixed because I fixed it.
and
I did not from technology.
the woman kind of smiles and goes, "All right, good man, go on." And
Porter's getting fleeced this episode. Jeez.
and the kid runs off and looks at the car, looks at the wagon, looks back at the car, and gets on the wagon to drive that first. And like starts wheeling it kind of to the outskirts of town where you can see like the shadows and silhouettes of a bunch of vehicles. And she goes, "Right, my name's Stripe. I'm going to be your conductor for the journey. I understand you are heading to Waypoint. This over here is your lovely carriage. If you need any thing from your car, I suggest grabbing it now. Or if you need something out of that wagon, you better rush after Bolt. He's taking it nice and slow on account of your bum wheel. But this here is your carriage." And she walks over to a large custom-made trailer. It has you can see it has doors open up. 4 doors open up with some space, like 2 on one side, 2 on the other, with some space in between them. But then she's leading you to the back, like there's ramps leading up, but then she leads you to the back and like pulls up like the shutter and like a ramp comes out, so you can see like the full thing. And what you see is a trailer that is around 8 feet wide and 40 feet deep. And it has roughly 6 feet of standing clearance. And there are 6 hammocks that line the sides. And basically it goes like 2 hammocks in the back and then doors, 2 hammocks in the middle, doors, 2 hammocks in the front. And you can see all the way at the front in one of the corners, there's a lavatory stool, just kind of open sitting again in one of the corners. And then there's some like stout shuttered windows that are placed along like the upper part. And she steps in and goes, "It's just the 4 of you, as far as we know, all the way to Waypoint. So take your pick of hammocks. You got windows here if you need fresh air. You got a basin over there to go in. Keep yourself comfortable. We'll be taking we'll be making 3 stops along the way. You will have roughly 5 minutes maximum of time to step out, stretch your legs. So I don't recommend taking in the local color. And we'll have you in Waypoint after about 3 days. You can any of your personal effects can be put up in these shelves here and here, and you'll be able to recognize my car by the big red stripe on it. If you need anything, you just lean out one of the windows and flag me over, and we can talk. We don't stop until we make it to town. So, any questions?"
No.
No.
All right. Well, go ahead and load on up. We're heading out.
I get on, I guess.
Yeah.
She
So
closes the big shutter as you all walk on, and then you watch as Nomads come over and like push in and push up the walls that are the ramps on those 4 doors. And very quickly it becomes pretty dark in there. There's a couple lit bulbs. But for the most part, they're pretty dim. So like at night, this trailer's kind of dark. But like you can open up the shutters and get a little bit of natural light in, and then it should be pretty decently lit in the daytime with those shutters open. And it's just the 4 of you. And as you kind of get in and start like setting your stuff down, You kind of all move a little bit as the vehicle kicks on and starts pulling the trailer out of town, and you hit the road.
I pick a hammock and I make my Omni tool create a flat surface, and I continue working, I guess.
A flat surface while you're laying in the hammock, like a table, like over your lap.
I'm sitting like
Yeah.
cross-legged on the hammock, and it's like flat in front of me, like a little lap desk.
I love it. That's great.
And then I think probably because it's lit into my suit, I just have the lats. Or no, I'm not wearing that.
You're not
I'm
wearing
not
your
wearing my
suit.
suit. So I just I don't have any light source. I guess I make a lamp.
Okay. Yeah, and you can roll to work on your present for Porter.
That is 3 more successes. Oh wait, I have 2 reliability.
I think you only needed.
Yeah, but it's nice to roll more. Yes. Oh, that explodes. Hold on. Okay, that's 5 successes.
Okay, you do make this in a day and a half. You will have completed making
My thing.
your present for Porter. And it will be excellent quality. Cool.
Oh, I have a guess.
So Eloise gets to work. And yeah, you guys hit the road. It's the middle of the night. You're probably gonna want to rest up. Eloise, are you gonna rest or are you gonna work through the night on this?
I'm probably, I don't know. I'll work until I fall asleep. And if I don't fall asleep, then I'm working through the night.
Okay, then you fall asleep. Otherwise, you're
Fall
rolling
asleep
an
around 3
endurance test to stay awake and then end up taking hit point damage. And I
No,
imagine
I'm
at
not
that
doing
point.
that.
Yeah, so you fall asleep, you wake up. You got 3 days between here and Waypoint.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I think Dex climbs into a hammock. It's like, this is not very comfortable.
Oh man,
it's
Dex,
fun.
these hammocks, my legs ain't even hanging off. This is incredible.
Oh well. Then I go to sleep.
Yeah, and the journey continues. It becomes daytime. Eloise is hard at work during this time, and you guys can see the Nomad pack moving along. And it's just like they said, they literally do not stop for anything until they make it to a town. And they have 2 towns they're stopping in before they go to before they get to Waypoint. They just keep going. And actually, like in the daytime when you like are looking out and you're watching like the beautiful mountainscapes and rolling hills and like flat prairies of Loner's Pass and like all the creeks and waterfalls and rivers, it's gorgeous terrain, starts to give away to more arid terrain as you start moving more and more back into the Badlands. And you were able to see as the Nomads, like they don't stop at all. They refuel their cars on the go. You see that there's like a handful of vehicles that seem to be kind of designated to drive from vehicle to vehicle to either deliver messages or to climb out on their roofs and like run like fuel siphons over and like refill fuel. You watch as like various a handful of them are using like mag belts and like straps with like on like railings on top of cars to like continuously like operate in transit. There's like one point where a car like one of their like engines starts smoking and they operate and fix the engine while it is running. There's like every once in a while, like they don't always drive together too. Like they split off all the time. You guys are kind of like in the heart of it, in the like the really big vehicles. And there's tons of like, as it gets further from the center of the pack, the vehicles get smaller and more nimble. And you see oftentimes some of them will go way ahead, circle back around, take alternate routes, like seeming to scout the area and, just like keep going. And like that's just straight up like the only time they stop is like they wheel like they roll up to a town, a handful of them go in, they're in town for like at most 20 minutes, usually way shorter than that, and then they kick back up the engines. Like during those times you're able to like step out, stretch your legs. When you go to use the lavatory stool in the corner, you see the open road below you just like whizzing by. And that's pretty much the conditions of the journey to Waypoint.
Hey, Porter, we got a surprise.
What's that, Gus?
Next, show him.
I pull out of my cloak like a drug dealer behind a high school the new issue of A Light in the Darkness.
Wait, is he on the side of a car? Is he with a
He's in
Nomad
a
pack?
Nomad pack. How cool is that?
Talk about timing. All right.
Yeah.
Should we? Have you read it?
No,
yet?
we wanted
Can
to
I-
save it to be on the Nomad pack, but also we wanted to read it with you.
That's awfully nice, Gus. Thanks so much.
Yeah,
let's get into it.
let's dive
This
on
is
in.
exciting.
So in this issue of A Light in the Darkness, Rico Kasich has booked transit on a Nomad pack across the Western Badlands, and they are flying through the Badlands. And really quickly, I think Porter may be the only one who truly keys in on this. They like immediately you're like they're stopping a lot for Nomads. Like they like there's like several scenes where like they've like basically like rounded the wagons and are like having dinner stationary, like, and then get back in their cars and keep going and stuff like that, which allows for more situations where like he can talk to them and like hear the legends of this land and like the road and like hear the ghost stories. And there's this one like legend that keeps getting told to him, which is the legend of Talmadag, which Talmadag is this like creature that like this massive creature, this like this kind of boogeyman story that the Nomads in this area talk about. And they like say like entire Nomads, like entire packs have disappeared, and like the only ones who survived like came back driven mad by Talmadag, and that's all they would say, and then they would die shortly after. And it was like they're like, we're passing over that area of the Badlands, ooh. And sure enough, they run into Talmadag, and it turns out Talmadag is a massive, gigantic wasset. That also apparently is illuminated as Rico, as it's attacking, Rico realizes it's illuminated, and as it's like smashing vehicles and making like explosions and fire and everything, it's like one vehicle tries to get away, and then like it like telekinesis it down and like throws it right into its mouth, and like Rico realizes like, oh my god. And so he gets knocked out of his car. He's the only one who survives in the car. Nomads are dying left and right, and Rico starts rushing. He goes like pure instinct mode and starts rushing towards the mouth of this thing. And like as he gets to it, like he like drops down and places his hand on it, and then like a pillar of light shines down, and he puts it to sleep, and it like slowly gets quiet, like calmer and quieter, and its limbs like kind of slide down as he's like sitting there like channeling all this energy into it, all this luminescent energy, like feeling its life force and his life force intertwined and soothing it, and it falls asleep. And then as he steps back, he sees a brand on this thing that's called Talma Talma Scientific Research Center, and a lot of it's worn out. So like, it looks like it says Talma Dog on it. Like some of the letters like are kind of molded together. Like the brand has like kind of become like worn over time. This thing like escaped from a research lab somewhere. And Rico like stands up and like, sits there for a second, and he thinks about his like wife and his quest, and he realizes like he's gotta like help out and like get these nomads back in place. And he's like, I need to see an LRC. Get me to an LRC. And that's where the story ends.
Oh man, they did it again. That's so nuts.
How did he put that whole thing to sleep? You'd think that'd be too big for one person to do.
Yeah. Man. And what sort of experiments you got to do on a wasset to get it that big? And illuminated? I ain't never heard of no illuminated wasset.
Well, to make it big, you'd think it'd just be like some kind of steroid, maybe. Although I don't know if that works on something like a wasset. But
how did they
illuminated,
brand
I
the
don't
thing?
know.
If
You
it's
just,
that
like,
big and dangerous and it's got illuminated powers, how you brand?
I don't know. Like one letter at a time, I guess.
Oh, definitely not one letter at a time. That cannot
Maybe
be
it wasn't that big when they branded it.
But then the letters would have been all
Oh,
stretched
see,
out.
like-
Oh, but I guess they were sort of warped and stuff.
If they look like Talmadag, yeah, right. Maybe that's what happened.
Yeah, they branded a little clap sock, and then they gave it a bunch of steroids, and then boom, boom, boom. Now it's a big
Wait.
illuminated wasset.
Wait. Is a clapsock a baby
Clap
baby
sock's just a
wasset?
baby wasset. That's right.
Yeah.
I thought
Did you
there were
not know
two
that?
different things this entire time. No, I don't spend time out in the Badlands. Why do I know that?
Yeah, Clapsock is a baby wasset.
Clap sock's a baby wasset.
They're doing this joke just for their own entertainment. It's not funny. It's just them. They just think it's funny that it just became a
Listen,
thing in one of our
Seth
group
brought it
chats.
Timing.
Moving on. All right, enough in jokes. Let's move on. It is now that okay.
the lore of the
Suddenly
world.
one of the tires blows out and a wasset eats all of you.
That's
All right, I guess I'm a lich now.
Eloise, you finish your work. These
Okay.
three have spent the day reading the latest issue of Light in the Darkness. And
Riveting.
and you were able to like not listen to a lot of it, but in general, you caught the gist of it.
Fortunately, they enjoy it, and that's fine. They enjoy it.
But yeah, your present for Porter is complete.
Okay, so I install it into the armor. And yeah, so they're like talking about how a wasset and this like clapsock and all that stuff, and I'm like, yeah, it's so interesting.
I like tap Gus on the shoulder. Hey, can you help me? There's like a window that's jammed over here. I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I can unjam it.
And then
Yeah, that's
Dex and
like-
Gus are removed from the scene.
Wow. Yeah.
I finished your armor if you wanted to try it on.
Well, that looks incredible. Here, let me try. I'll pull the armor on. A little bit heavy, isn't it? I guess, if I don't want to die, it kind of has to be.
Yeah, and so but it still looks real nice. So like I figured since
Incredible.
you needed to do your wheeling and dealing and all that stuff that like you would want to look proper, not like you were wearing a suit of armor.
I
guess.
like this little metal patch here. It makes me look a little bit tough, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Look, I could run into somebody with it or something.
Don't, but you could. It does.
No, that'd be a bad idea. I couldn't even get a good deal for a couple of horses, so I'm not
Oh.
gonna punch somebody for anything.
So anyway, and I'll like take his like wrist and like turn it
Mm.
and like pull the jacket on his wrist like up, and there'll be it like lights up like a digital clock, like the little like numbers on it, and stuff. And I installed something extra that you didn't ask for.
Oh.
But it's an you were real upset, and I thought, anyway, it's a auto dock. I thought you'd like it, but now I think maybe that's real insensitive for me to have done that, because that implies that you would need it. And then, like, so maybe that's not. I can take it out and salvage it if you want. I just need it back for like 20 minutes. That's
No, please, no! Oh my god!
So
No,
anyway,
this
I
is
built
so
the
kind.
buttons right in the sleeve, so it don't look like nothing until you like turn it like that, and then and you can program it how you want, because you know that kind of stuff better than I do. So, and then
This is so. This is really. This is so. This is.
Do you like it?
This is really kind.
Oh,
Thank
no.
you so much.
Why are you?
No, it's
Are
okay.
you okay?
No, it's just. It's really. I'm fine. It's
Oh, no, I
really
didn't mean to.
nice. Thank you. No, look. Let's here. And I'll like pull her down onto a hammock and like sit next to her. I wasn't expecting this. She didn't have to do anything extra for me.
No, but I
I'm
wanted to.
I'm so sorry. We haven't look, I don't know how to say this. I just can we just sit for a second? Give me a second.
Yeah.
I have something that I haven't told you about, and I know that I haven't really gotten a chance, and I don't think I keep waiting for the right time, when we'll be perfectly fine and safe and in a place where we can talk, and I just don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon. So I need to tell you about my family.
Were they
They're
okay?
they're fine for now, but I did something very stupid and I put them in danger. And now I'm kind of caught up with the family. With the shit. I always forget which family is it, Tommy?
Sheffield.
I wrote it down, but now I can't remember. It's the Sheffields, with the Sheffields. In Markham's Landing. I have a friend with them, and so my family's safe and they're being protected, but also I have to run jobs and things, and I am ashamed of it. And I can't have you making things for me and being so kind and nice and have you not know that about me. I think.
Are you part of the family?
No, I'm like I guess kind of an errand boy. I just
do
needed
you-
to go away from Markham's Landing.
Do you want to be?
No. I've been trying to get off. I've been trying to get away from them. I've been trying to settled my debt with them for the past 8 months. And now I have the chance to do that, and I have to do something really bad in order to make that happen. I don't know how to I don't know what to do.
Well, I'm going to take his hand in like both of my hands.
Mm.
And I don't, Porter, I'm literally the last person you should ever worry about being mad because you kept a secret. I would be literally the worst person if I judged you for that.
It's just it's the family, you know? It's the worst thing that I could do.
I don't want to make you feel like your choices are less severe than how you feel them. But if you've got an opportunity to set it square, then we'll just do that. You can go home.
So it involves taking proto-martyr technology from the people that attacked us and giving it to the family. And I can't do it alone. And I've already talked to Gus. I've already talked to Dex about it, and he's not gonna help me with that, I don't think. So I don't know how I can even make that happen.
Dex doesn't want you to have your family back.
No, Dex wants me to but he doesn't want proto-martyr filament in the hands of the family. Like, the destruction they could do with that's catastrophic, isn't it?
As opposed to the illegal mercenary company who literally just tried to murder you and Dex, who
I
is
know.
totally unregulated and has no social structures or culpability whatsoever to anyone.
But he's not
You
as
mean that-
powerful as the family, right? I mean,
like one family, like they still have consequences. Look at what happened up in Freedom City, like a while ago, right? There are consequences. Like, it's not this mercenary company, there are no consequences. There's no culpability. And if Dex doesn't want to help, that's fine. We can do it ourselves. I can help you. If Dex can't see the gray in the situation, doesn't matter. We don't need Dex. We'll figure it out. If you want to go home to your family, then that's lucky, because a lot of people don't have families or want them, and so you have something special. And excuse my language, but that is baloney.
that's thing. You're right, and I would do whatever it takes to get back to them. But I just I don't want to cause even more destruction or potential destruction even than I already have. I don't know. They're obviously the most important thing in my entire life. But I just don't know how to justify it. I know.
What do you mean?
You're right.
How to justify it? I guess I just don't understand, Porter. We were like right next to them. Why didn't you say anything? I mean, I guess I understand why you didn't say anything, but I guess you could have.
I'm good at talking as long as it doesn't have any negative consequences for me. And once we get to that point, I just don't know what to say. The only reason I told Dex is because he could tell that there was something wrong with me. Because he got those gunslinger eyes.
Well, we'll figure out something. And, we're definitely going to have to probably contend with those guys again anyway. And so this time we'll just, steal a giant bomb. Because as far as I can tell, it's all just explosives.
Right. Even if it does something else, it will eventually explode. That's true.
And I'm pretty good at stuff like that. Not that I've ever exploded anything, but I could. So
I believe it. This is beautiful armor. Thank you so much, El. I can't tell you what this means.
I hoped you'd like it. So.
And he'll squeeze her hand a little bit and give her a shoulder bump.
Right. So I don't want to make light of the situation or anything, but that Light in the Darkness is legitimately trash, right? It is not worth the paper it is printed on, right?
It's so entertaining in its own way.
No,
I know. Well, it's not like it's scientifically
so
sound or anything like that. But no, I just can't stop reading. It's addictive. I don't see. I honestly, I don't understand how you're not addicted to it as much as I am. Sure, trash, whatever, unrealistic, sure, but it's always a cliffhanger. It's exciting.
Maybe I just don't understand it.
I think you probably understand it better than any of us do.
Well, it helped me focus
here
because you guys were reading it out loud and it was terrible, and so I could get it.
You had to have something to do. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I think I had. Did I have your headphones? Are your headphones in your armor? Is that why you weren't just tuning us out?
Yeah.
But take this back. You'll need it. I mean, we're done reading Light in the Darkness, but
well, I mean, you're gonna have
it was really nice. I like the shield thing. Oh,
yeah.
But
well,
then
I'm gonna try and fix that.
So there's an attachment here, right? But then
and then also on your shoulder.
Just so then
just like.
Here, can you do it for me?
Okay.
Yeah, Dex and Gus, you look over and you see like Porter almost like tumbling into a hammock as he's trying to stabilize himself as Eloise starts detaching parts of his armor clumsily.
I'm ticklish. Stop it.
Stop wiggling.
Gus, I thought I heard this window over here squeak. Or, Dex, I thought I heard this window squeaking over here too. I'm just gonna. Can you help me out with this one?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, Dexter, can I talk
to you? Yeah, Dex will turn around. Yeah.
Over maybe. Porter, I think Gus needs help with that window over there.
Yeah, a lot of bad windows on this trailer.
You'd think they'd be good at fixing things, they have so many mechanical things they need to do.
I don't. It's crazy. Just, I guess, come on over here and help me.
Sure.
As Gus is just sort of like puts his two hands on a pane of glass and presses a little, and it starts to bend a little bit. He goes.
It's not glass. It's metal shutters that you can open and close.
Oh, he's just opening them and closing them, and then he bends one a little bit, and he puts it back. He's like, "Yeah, this one I think could use." Yeah, over here.
accidentally like break one of the levers out. Oh no.
Oh no, now it what?
Hi.
Seem mad.
Yeah. No. I guess I don't really know what the name is. What the name of it is. I I understand that you live by code, and I have not maybe such an external code, but the world makes sense when I move it in particular ways. And so I can understand when things just like don't work. And like it's my whole thing that I fix things. And but sometimes there are fixes that you have to make that are take more effort or time or supplies or energy, and so they're not how you imagined it, but it still makes it's still a fix, and it still accomplishes what you need to accomplish. And so I need you to think really hard about yours, because I didn't ask you. I haven't asked you. I'm being extremely rude, and I apologize for not asking you how or why you feel the way that you do about Porter's family. But I need you to consider real strong what kind of augmentation you need to make that fix happen. Because Porter has done nothing for the last 9 months but talk about Markham's Landing and his family and how much he misses them and his sibling. And he has something that literally none of the rest of us have. He can, and he could go home. And I'm willing to make that sacrifice to make him happy. And I'm going to do whatever it takes. And if you can't or won't come with me, or worse, if you stand in my way, Dexter, I will make you shoot me. This is my line. If you can't come up with an augment, we will fight on it. And I will lose.
I'm not mechanically minded. But the way you described fixing things, sometimes it's not the way you think. It takes some more effort. It doesn't look like what you want it to. Porter's been offered a quick fix to do 2 bad things and go home. And maybe the family honors that deal. But he's still a guy who's done 2 bad things coming home to whatever family he's got. I told him back in Waypoint, once we figured this thing out with the militia, I would go back to Markham's Landing with him. We would find a way to get his family safe. I plan to honor that promise. But this? Black Star shouldn't have it. But the Sheffields shouldn't either. No one should. This is a quick fix. It might not work, and it might not take. And if it does, you've changed the thing fundamentally.
People don't get opportunities to leave the family very often. If you take him back to Markham's Landing without a solution, you are killing him. Don't think otherwise. And also taking his family out of the only place they know, making a community, leaving their community, uprooting their whole life. That's also not a solution, or else he would have brought them already. This is a solution. It might seem quick and easy to you, but I think taking on an illegal militia, basically, and stealing their probably most prized possession seems, I don't know, pretty not easy. And pretty not quick. And that's fine. I'm just telling you up front. If you can't get on board, we will be taking 2 separate trains. And I will probably be on that train alone. And that's okay.
I guess we're on 2 separate trains.
Okay. I don't have anything else to say then. And I guess I will go 2 feet away to my hammock.
Gus, I just put the lever back on. Come on.
I wanted to test it. Wait,
It's all right. We'll fix it.
El,
We'll figure this out together.
no, El, we got it. Never mind. We got this together. Apparently.
You don't need to bother Elle with this.
She's
She's got her own things she's doing.
Okay, yeah. Just no, I dropped it. I think I dropped it. I think I dropped the whole lever. More of it fell off the wall.
Eventually, Porter's able to remove Gus from the equation and put the lever back on. Yeah. And I think probably the journey to Waypoint, there's kind of, I don't know, I think Porter can definitely pick up on it. I'm not sure if Dex can. There's kind of just this like...
You mean Gus?
Oh, yeah, sorry. I mean Gus. Roman did it earlier.
I don't know why everyone's mad at me. They've told me explicitly. What's going on?
Well, I don't understand. Is something awkward? No. Yeah, Porter is definitely able to pick up on it. I'm not 100% sure Gus is. But there's just like a little bit of like a tension in the air. Like Dex and Eloise are kind of not approaching each other with like within like a yardstick like range. They're just kind of like moving around each other, operating separate from each other. And there's just it's just a little awkward.
Mm-hmm.
And you stop at like the next town, you're able to stretch your legs for 5 minutes, and then you are Waypoint bound. I don't know if anyone else has anything they are wanting to achieve before you arrive in Waypoint. But the journey to Waypoint goes without incident.
I would like to use an insight power.
Oh, okay.
I would like to use telepathy.
Okay.
And I would like to reach out to Henry Fawcett.
The fuck?
I assume he resists.
Yeah. Hold on. Oh yeah. You don't need line of sight to use telepathy. You just need to know. You just need to know their name.
Yes.
And you do. His name is Henry Fawcett.
I'd like to contact him about his car's warranty. The
robocall problem on Manifest has to be out of control.
Yeah, he does resist though. So let's go ahead and roll that. You don't have anything that gives me negatives on this, right?
No, I think I just have positives. Hold on. Let me check.
I just know that there are some things that do that. But as you're figuring that out, I'm going to spend 2 grit to bamboozle you twice. Give you a -2.
All right. I will take your 2 grit for my next attempt.
Oh dear. I may need to spend more grit. Currently, you're up against a 5.
Okay. That's perfect. Well, it's maybe perfect.
What's your highest?
I have an 8.
Oh, I can beat that if I spend more grit on this. I will. I'm going to make my own luck. It's statistically improbable that I rolled this bad. Now, it's not like Porter bad or anything, but...
How dare you?
I don't know why that was necessary.
Beat you for filth.
No, I just have a 7.
Okay. That is 2 net successes.
Oh, you have 2 over a 7?
I have 2 8s.
Damn. All right. You create a mental link between you and Henry Fawcett as a long-lasting effect.
But I can end it when I want, right?
Yeah. This is, you basically have opened this up. You have forced your way past his kind of just like passive defenses of not wanting to have somebody send him messages in his brain. And you... So it's got a long-lasting effect, or until you sever the connection. You can send him any messages, verbal or visual input that you want. He can like shut down a lot of it. Like, you know, it's not like you can like completely like bombard his eyesight with stuff. Like, you know, it's more just like he is aware of the things that you are sending him. He's able to picture them in his head. But I guess when are you doing this? Are you doing this like in the middle of the night when everyone's sleeping? Are you doing it just kind of like staring out a window? Like, what's the situation?
I guess
Are
probably
you doing it like immediately or
No, probably a couple hours after Dex and I have our conversation.
Okay. Yeah, so let's have Eloise go ahead and roll blend for me.
What? My best personality stat?
And everyone can roll observe, except I think Porter, you have playing the player, so you can technically roll blend if you want. And the observes and whatever you roll to notice Eloise using an illuminated power in the same vicinity as you, either observe or blend if you're Porter. That's going to be at a -3 because I'm going to assume Eloise's competence in finding an opportunity where it is much harder for people to notice.
Does clear sight help me observe what she's doing?
Yeah. What's the clear sight's just a +1 to observe test,
It's
right?
reduced visibility penalties.
Oh,
volume
interesting.
1.
Yeah. Because like part of the -3, I assumed was something along the lines of her turning away from you.
Is there some sort of insight-based thing that I can roll?
I was gonna say, I don't want to intentionally blow up Eloise's spot, but like, if we were in a fight, Gus could ward without him having the power done to him, right? Wouldn't he just know?
He would have to be aware that like basically if it was like if he saw like basically in a fight, usually like you see the tell. Like I don't have you roll to see the tell, right? You see the tell and you know to go off of it. If Gus rolls well enough, Gus could ward against this.
Could I just roll flat insight?
No. It is an observe test, but I think you bring up a pretty good point. And Gus, I will only make you roll at a -1 on account of you being illuminated. I think there's some extra sensory, like sixth sensey type, like you feel the energy type thing.
Yeah.
I have an 8.
You got 3 successes with a high of 5.
I got a 10.
Ooh.
Okay, I have an 11.
Oh. So,
I have an 11, a 9, a 7, and a 5.
okay, so Gus, you only get 1 net success over Gus, but multiple net successes over everyone else. So
I was sure somebody was going to see it.
So Gus, you don't notice that Eloise is using an illuminated power, but basically, shortly into her using this power, you will notice that she seems like preoccupied and has separated her away from everyone. And you'll pick up on like there has been some tension between Eloise and Dex. I think Eloise might be upset. I don't know what's happened. I kind of was not part of any of those conversations. And so you notice that something is up with Eloise and that she has sequestered herself away. And you know that this could be a good time to talk to her about what's going on.
Yeah, this feels like the right time.
All right. So Eloise, you feel the connection. You feel the connection. You don't know where he is. You don't know what he's doing. You just you reach out. You think on the name Henry Fawcett. You think on what you know about Black Star, and like your consciousness kind of like sends out. And you feel like this kind of extension of yourself, like flying through, like almost like a breeze that you don't feel as much as you create it. And then you latch onto something, and you focus on that, and you feel that kind of tether between your mind and his mind.
Okay. Hello.
What?
It's okay. You can talk back.
What the fuck? Who is this?
I'm the girl you've been looking for.
Ms. Reynolds, is it?
Shouldn't you know?
Well, I gotta say, this is the first. Having someone reach out to me that well, hell. Where are you at, young lady? Let's make this easy.
Why don't you tell me where you are? Maybe I'll come to you.
Now, why would you be wanting to just reach on out?
Maybe I'm interested.
In what exactly?
Well, what do you have to offer?
For you, I imagine mostly pain and suffering.
Is there a situation where it's just me?
Interesting. Trying to protect Mr. Gurley.
He's not worth your pain and suffering.
Well, he's worth quite a lot, I gotta say.
How many men do you want to have lose? Is that kind of training's pretty expensive, I hear. Unless you just got fodder of the, 75 people you have left? You calling them all in?
Go ahead and roll a manipulate. Or an intimidate, I suppose, if you really want. I imagined manipulate was going to be better.
Is this like, so like in D&D, sometimes you can roll like intimidate as like an intelligence or whatever. I feel like there should be like, you can roll intimidate as an insight attribute test.
It would line up with how telekinesis works a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But don't say it's. They're manipulate and intimidate are actually the same, so it's just better to roll personality.
You're up against an 11.
Oh, I don't think I can beat that. But that does explode. Okay, then I get a reroll. I'm gonna play to the gallery. Nope, that's not the right one. Will I have enough to play to the gallery? I only have 3 grit. Yeah, I'm gonna make my luck, and maybe this will be an 11. This is a bad expenditure of grit. Don't do this at home. What?
Did you get an 11?
I did, and now I need to spend the rest of my
Oh,
grit.
snap.
That's amazing.
Wow.
But it's still only it's an 11. Am I defended? No, I'm
You are the
I'm
aggressor in this situation. You've forced your voice into this man's head from who knows how far away with not but his name.
I'm like the old
Okay.
look behind you.
I can't believe that. That's amazing. You're my lucky die now, little guy. You're going to go sit up here.
Is it pretty?
So I've
Is it
spent
cool?
2 expenditures of grit. There's the one, and then the play to the gallery for the second one.
So what, you're at 4?
So it's one. I should be at.
Oh no, you played to the gallery, so okay.
I should be at 2.
Sure, it's not 3? 3, right?
I was at 3.
Remember
At
I
3, and
I
then you
used
spent-
grit. Yeah, you were at 6 and then I put you down. You used 3 grit just now, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I will take more grit than I think I have.
Now I'm at 8.
Yes.
Okay. So that's 2 successes then?
No.
Oh.
It's just one.
Oh. Okay. And then your next highest was, because my next highest is a 10. So
My next highest is also a 10.
you fucker. Okay, my next highest is an 8.
My next highest is a 7.
Okay, cool. So 2 nice successes then. Oh wait, no.
That's not how it goes anymore.
That's not how it goes. That's not how it
It's
goes.
just
I'm
one
a
net.
wild. I'm a crazy person.
I'm gonna say
Um,
that doesn't make sense.
That's
Tommy.
not.
What
Nope.
are you
That's not how it
doing?
goes. That was
It's like
that was
poker.
like
That's
alpha
like
version.
4 years ago.
That was like alpha rules coming back in my brain there for a second.
I've
I
got
fell
an
for it.
11, 10 kicker.
Yeah, right. Okay.
I'm stressing.
Okay. So you just had the one net success with the 111.
One next success.
It sounds like 2. Oh no, he had an 11.
Yeah,
Never
yeah.
mind.
He had an 11.
You could
Both rolled an
twist.
11. I have 1.
Did you twist?
I mean, maybe it's worth it.
It's up to you, but I'd like you to decide.
Yes.
Okay. So you're gonna spend 2 more grit to twist the knife to make this 2 net successes.
And I still have my 1 that is only for Diane.
Okay. So yeah. He goes, well, damn. You know, if you factor in the costs, now they told me you might be smart, but you make a decent point. Not exactly cheap chasing you down. Maybe I cut my losses and just go with the one that's really important.
It does say priority on my little flyer I have from your people.
Lonnie's taking notes again. Any of them
Was.
still alive?
No.
Oh, do I sense a little timidity in you there, young lady?
You weren't specific enough. The ones that haven't come back yet won't.
Right. Well, that makes sense. All's fair in on the battlefield. So, look here, lady. You honestly got me tickled. I am always looking to work smarter and not harder. But how am I supposed to understand? From what I heard, y'all can hold your own in a fight. And while I have no doubts that we can overwhelm and overtake you, given the opportunity, I don't understand why you and your bosom companions would separate and they wouldn't just jump out of the woodwork and take an easy shot. Way my folks tell it, you got a gunslinger with you.
He's not with me anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But he is with Mr. Gurley.
So,
hey, Elle, is everything all right? You're just sort of over here sitting by yourself. I know y'all had some conversations earlier, and I didn't really put it together, but those might have been. I was over. At first it was like just a distraction, but then I really was focusing on the windows, and so I don't really know sort of what happened on them. Is everything okay? You're sort of over here by yourself, and you're real quiet.
so why exactly would you go and separate yourself from the likes of a gunslinger? I thought you was smart.
We have a difference of opinion.
So you think that we're not responding to Gus yet?
No. I said that out loud and thought it at the same time.
Ah.
You and Dad. Yeah, no, I get that. Eventually, I'm sort of blindly trusting him now, and I don't know how that's gonna go. Oh, but I really trust you. Oh, this is quite a conundrum.
This is how this is gonna go, little lady. Way I see it, you are as prim and pampered as they come. And what I know about city folk is they ain't to be trusted. So you're gonna give me a location and a time, and you're gonna sit your little ass there until I come knocking. And I'll come knocking once I know it's safe.
Or I could just sing in your head until you manage to kick me out. Is there any song you prefer? And then I say out loud after a delay. The thing is that Dex and I disagree on whether Porter deserves to be with his family or not. And I don't think that that's repairable. And you should ask him his whole details. I don't want to. What I've said is already unfair, Gus.
Yeah, dang, because that doesn't feel like a real Dex move is saying someone doesn't deserve to be. Well, I mean, there's probably a lot of people Dex would say don't deserve to be with their family because then he shoots them. You don't deserve to be with your family. Bam, and then they're dead. But that doesn't feel like a move he'd take on Porter. Well, I'm sorry that things went that way. I'm sure we could get it worked out. But take it from me, I've had plenty of scrapes and scuff ups and arguments and quiet arguments with Dex, sort of all the rainbow of disagreements. And we sort of seem to work it out. And on the last one I realized it was me. I don't know, maybe things will be okay if we can communicate with each other.
Maybe, but you should probably go check in with him at some point.
Yeah, while Gus is saying all of that, you hear, listen, little lady, you can bark all you want and you can rattle some cans in my brain, but you ain't gonna hold this connection for long. And all you're doing is giving me all sorts of incentive to find you quicker and making me come up with a few ideas of my own on how I might do so. So let's get back to the part where you want to go ahead and separate from the rest of your group. You do that, you give me a location, and you wait your ass there, and I'll come pick you up once I know it's safe. I work on my time. I don't work on your time. I ain't one of your servants in your high towers.
Walk into Brimstone and cut you out of the equation, sir.
What'd you say? You say walk into Brimstone?
Yeah.
Well, then I'll consider that a job well done.
How's that?
Get you there one way or another. You go ahead. You knock on Brimstone's door.
Look, Elle, I'm just concerned because I mean, I think we'll get this all done all right. But are you seem so upset and like, ooh, do you know
Because I'm
what
trying to have a conversation.
Yeah, me too. I'm sorry, I was just gonna ask if the new Light in the Darkness, they're in a Nomad pack, and I thought,
I cannot talk about Light in the Darkness right now or potentially ever. I'm so sorry, Gus. I'm figuring out a puzzle.
oh,
I'm not mad
all
at
right.
you. I can't. I need 5 minutes.
All
Then we
right.
can talk all you want.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, I'm sorry. Good luck with the puzzle. Yeah, just come talk to me if you want to. Gus goes and like it on pure instinct starts fiddling with the window.
Yeah, and so I'll go, but I don't have any guarantees, sir, that I'll get anything I want. And if I do that, I don't see the point. Is there an intermediary you would trust?
This deal's between you and me, young lady. Listen, all you got to go on is the fact that I am impressed by your need to speak to me so soon. And you can go on my word that I ain't gonna chase after your friends no more. You saved me a pretty penny by giving yourself over. Now, you may not trust my word, but that's all you're gonna get to go on because I ain't gonna give you a location no how. I ain't gonna wait until I know that you're all by your lonesome. And then you come with me nice and quiet. Otherwise,
Again,
I'll
you're
just
not
find you
giving
one
me-
way or another.
Yeah, but if you come with me and my friends, the cost benefit analysis will not fall in your favor.
Well, the way I see it actually is if I just kill Mr. Gurley, I don't have to worry about bringing him in alive, and that seems to be the hardest part. So I'll just go ahead and lay fire to the ground and scoop you up out of it. All your friends will die, and you'll be in the same place that you want to be, far away from them. But I guess you don't care about that, do you? Because you are separate from them and don't care about them no more.
I really like this narrative. You're very creative. But I guess you wouldn't understand where I'm coming from. You couldn't possibly have any friends.
That's supposed to make me emotional, little lady?
No, it's an observation. There's very few things that I get emotional about. The thing is that I care about Mr. Gurley. And I also care about something that you have that I want. And I will go and sit my bottom down wherever you like and wait for you. If you can deliver what I want to the people I want you to deliver it to. And if you can't, you'll never find me.
Well, hell, young lady, I'm but a humble mercenary. You're saying a whole lot of words that sound very empty and just feels like you're dancing around the point you want to make. How about you just speak clear and straight to me?
Oh, I think you're a really smart man, Mr. Fawcett, for, your capabilities. I think you could probably figure out the one thing that someone might want from you other than your brutality, because it ain't your shining personality.
I have a good deal of many things. This business has been booming for some time now. Now, what? You need me to off some ex-boyfriend of yours who done broke your heart? You need me to go and put the fear of death in some person in a high tower of... Where's that? You're hiding a pretty good accent, but I think I sense just a little bit of Ion Harbor in you. Got family there, young lady? Someone you need me to pay a visit to?
No, and your lack of imagination does not disappoint. It is an object, sir.
I've
And I could
collected.
just find it and take it. But then you would never stop, and I would have to have someone kill you. I'm all for the preservation of life, even if it's not mine.
Here you are again, just failing to tell me what it is you want. I have quite the collection of many
Why don't you start
valuable
naming
objects.
things, and I'll tell you if any of those things ring a bell.
If you knew what you was looking for, you'd know the name of it.
Wouldn't I, though?
Well, you've made 2 half deals with me, both of which I'm interested in learning more about. So you give me a location, you let me know what it is that you want me to part ways with. May affix a price to it depending on the rarity of such items, but I am willing to make a trade for your life, Ms. Reynolds.
Then the saving of Mr. Gurley's, and Mr. Janus's, and Mr. Bailey's.
Ah. Yes, I will let them go on their merry way, though I suspect if you have not cut ties with them, Mr. Bailey might be a mite bit upset. But I can deal with him when he comes.
All right. Show me filament with your eyes to prove you have it.
There's like a decent pause there. And he goes, filament then. All right. Well, I do have to say, this ain't for you. You said I was delivering it somewhere. Let me see if I can piece
Why
this.
would it be for me if I was turning it myself into you?
You're just
if I was
echoing what
making a
I'm
straight
saying.
Deal. So
Now-
I caught you off guard, is what you're saying. You're not prepared to make a deal?
I'm prepared to make a deal, but I want to know who I'm actually making a deal with. Now,
Me.
well, at a certain point, another person comes into the equation now, don't they? Who's getting this filament?
A courier who I'm paying.
A lot of smoke screens come from you, Ms. Reynolds.
Would you expect anything less from someone that you have been impressed by?
Well, you come from money, and your life is worth a hell of a lot, but your friends' lives gotta be worth a hell of a lot to you as well. And I'll tell you right now, this little fine piece of technology I managed to scrape back together, well, that is what some might call priceless, though I could imagine a price on it. Now, you come from money, Ion Harbor, I suspect, though maybe elsewhere. You go ahead and find a way to get me an additional 100 spurs on top of this job. Filament goes wherever you like. And you have my undying oath that they don't move against me. Your friends will live till they run afoul of some lawman or creature of the night lays them in. It ain't going to be me or mine that poses a danger to them. Never know how. As long as they don't turn their sights on me. A promise you can't guarantee, I understand. But that's your business. My business is the 100 spurs and their safety. An offer I'm willing to give you, should you give me a location and make good on your deal. Now, you said you wanted to see it. You need confirmation for your employer? Well.
No, for me.
Right. Take a look at this beaut. And you see, in like your mind's eye, you see like an image open up. And you're in what looks like a tent, but it's like reinforced with like actual like frame and some wall. And you see he reaches out with one hand And I'll need you to roll a technology roll at a -5 for me.
That's 3 hits.
Okay, cool. So he reaches out a hand and touches. He's got other things kind of moved out of the way. It looks like this is kind of a display rack that's put up on one of those walls that holds up this tent. And he's moved most of it out of vision. But you see kind of sitting in front of you what looks like a rifle of some kind. But it has 2 barrels, one above the other. And it's this immaculate piece of technology beyond anything that could ever be made now. Beyond anything that you could even make. Like, you can look at it and you can tell like the components that are going together, but the materials and processes needed to put this thing together in the way that it would be put together is beyond even you. As you were looking at a proto-martyr rifle that is fully intact, seems by the look of it probably to be functional. It has 2 barrels, extreme like precision like craftsmanship. And you do notice with your 3 successes one other thing. On his wrist as he touches it, you see effectively like a biomonitor on his wrist that seems to be lit up with the same kind of technology that the rifle is lit up with. And he taps it and says, "You know what you're looking at here, young lady? Or did they just tell you it was just any old piece of proto-martyr tech?"
Do you know how to turn the biomonitor off so that it can be transported safely and you don't dictate when it explodes?
Biomonitor will go with the courier with instructions on how not to kill themselves with it.
All right. I'll be in touch.
Do you sever the connection there?
I severed the connection.
Okay.
It's the coolest thing Eloise has ever done. I think she cries a little bit. And she'll go over to Gus.
She's got tears in her eyes, Gus.
Hey, Elle, I'm so sorry. I didn't
No, sorry. I was having a conversation with another person. So I was having 2 conversations at the same time, and it was real hard for me to keep both of them straight. And I was short with you, and I'm sorry. I didn't really mean to do that. It's just sometimes like my brain can work real well, but like sometimes it can't work that well. And it's trying to regulate everything that's going on and like making sure that I wasn't being so rude to you, but also I was being very rude to you. And I knew that, but I didn't want to give it away because I didn't want you to stop me from having the conversation before it was done. But now it's done, so it's fine. So I'm sorry.
Oh, you met me right. If you think my sister didn't never snap at me because I was talking to her in the middle of her figure something out, you got another thing coming. But who are you talking to? If you don't mind my asking.
You can't tell anybody. So do you want to keep a secret or not? I mean, anybody.
Okay. Yeah.
Promise?
Yeah.
Henry Fawcett.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. What did he say? What? Why?
I think I can get him to make us safe. I think I made a deal for us to be safe.
That's amazing.
But it's not done yet. So
I'm wish you would have let me in on it while you're in the conversation. I don't know if you know this, but I'm a bit of a trainee peddler, so I've been learning about deals, stuff. So, like, what's the offer on the table?
100 spurs.
Oh, that's a lot. That's a lot of spurs.
I can probably make it with enough supplies in a couple of weeks, or maybe less, or maybe I have a friend who I could ask.
Oh, okay. Wow. We just give them 100 spurs and then we're done.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. I guess that's how bounty hunters do it, ain't it? You know, it's there's sort of a price, but then you pay the price, and I guess your job's sort of done. Although I guess they could get you and get double price, huh? Okay, well, I mean, huh? Well, I mean, let me know if you need any like to talk about it or like advice on how to like close the deal. You gotta negotiate. You give an offer. Ooh, so like if he comes back and he says, you know what, actually it's gonna be 200 spurs, and then you say, no, it'll be 40 spurs, which is like very low, I guess, in this situation. But then he'll sort of come back in the middle of it. I was talking with Porter and figuring out. So yeah, I guess I can help you with. I don't know. I can help you out.
If he wants to renegotiate, I could definitely bring you in.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good luck. That sounds amazing.
Yeah. But so you gotta just like part of it is like that, and then also part of it is making sure that like, you know, Dex and Porter are like feeling good and, you know, like safe and not doing anything stupid or anything to like ruin it. Cause like
Dex doesn't like making deals.
Right, he just
with
wants
bad
to
guys.
shoot him. Yeah, and
Porter's all about deals, so he'll get his hands all over it.
I did not think about that one.
Yeah, no, it makes sense both ways.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right. Okay.
But now I don't have to be mad at Dex anymore because it's fixed.
Great. Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Hey, good job, I guess. Wow. That's really incredible.
Yeah.
Huh. Man, I wonder how much of the 100 spurs you were, and I wonder how much of the 100 spurs I am.
Oh, you're much bigger than me, so you're probably a lot more, right?
I don't know, but it said priority on you, and so like priority means probably more, right?
Maybe it's like who would be easier, right? Because like you are real tough, but like, right, for me.
I guess.
So like to get half the money is easy, or almost half the money, right? Then. So.
I don't know. Maybe we'll ask him when we talk to him.
I would like to have a conversation with Porter, like while Al and Gus are off on the other side.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The other side of this single carriage.
Yeah, I mean,
it's an 80-foot long trailer.
It's 40.
Oh,
it's
is it
40.
80
It's 40 feet long, 8 foot wide,
Okay.
like with terrain, with a little bit of terrain in between. Like there's enough for like, and it's like the sound doesn't carry
to the side.
The sound doesn't carry very long from one end to the other because the entire, like, all of you just have this constant, persistent, like, So Dex and Porter.
I approach Porter. It occurs to me that I got this translated through how Eloise understood it. You know that I want you and your family to be safe, right?
Oh. No, right. I know that. We talked about that a little bit. I just told her, you know, the offer that I've been given that doesn't involve taking down an entire criminal organization is one that I couldn't take you along with on my path, and that I know that's still my most direct route, but I know you. It's not that you want to keep me from my family. I know that.
Okay, good. Because
Is that what she said?
sort of. I think that might be how she heard it.
Dex, I'm sorry. I'll
It's
talk to
fine.
her.
It's not. It's not. You don't have to. It's not your fault.
Well, I've put this in. I've put us in this situation, and I know that I've made our team dynamic a little rockier because of it. So I'm sorry.
Sorry, I'm not. Your plight is not funny to me. It is. So I've mostly traveled with a capital G belt buckle gunslinger, right? It has never not been us who makes the dynamic tense.
I suppose I can understand that.
I don't know if I said this when we talked and you asked for lessons with the rifle. I do want to help you find a different way. I hope you don't pick this one. But that's up to you. It is your choice. It's your family. I can see the position you're in and understand it without agreeing with it.
I understand the moral issues that go with this path, and I'm struggling with those. I think that's important for you to know. But I also think it's important for you to know that I will do whatever it takes to be back with my family. It's been near a year since I've last seen them, so I can't keep them under the thumb of the family, and if I'm forced to do this thing for them, I'll have to do it. But I don't want to.
If it turns out that this is what you have to do, I genuinely hope that it all works out.
Thanks, Dex.
Of course.
I hope you don't have to shoot me.
No, I don't. Listen, unless your plan drastically changes, I mean, all of a sudden you're taking orphanages hostage and you're shooting preachers, I'm not going to stand in your way. Eloise made it pretty clear if that was the line I was going to take, I'd have to shoot her.
Well, then I'll try to avoid orphanages and preachers, and we'll see how it goes then.
Rule of thumb.
There's a big bang on the side of the trailer, and you can see when you look through the slits, you actually see your conductor Stripe's car, the one with the big stripe on it. She is pulled over, one hand on the wheel, leaning out, and she shouts up, "Waypoint in 2!" And then like points, and you actually can lean and look, and you can see Waypoint on the horizon rapidly approaching.
Yeah, there it is.
How about that?
And I was going to take a break an hour ago, and then things were happening, so I didn't take a break. But now it's so late.
Roleplay.
Now
It's too late to take.
It's too late to take a
right?
break. So I think
Yeah.
we just roll on into Waypoint.
And then we get to Waypoint.
There's our break right there. Yeah, 2 minutes later, you feel the trailer start to slow down. You're collecting your things, and you actually, as you're like pulling up, you do hear like as one of the as a train is leaving Waypoint, and the Nomad pack is passing just alongside the pylons that like hold it up, and they're kind of following that path down, and you can see like the train above you floating up above the pylons, like zooming to the north towards Fort Dearborn. And you roll into town square, and then the doors ka-chunk, 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 come down, and then the back hasn't actually been open since you left Lonesburg, but Stripe opens that up as well. And she goes, right, so we got your vehicle's getting unloaded here. You're familiar with the town, right? You know where the stables are.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just gonna be 15 spurs. You can get your stuff all well and good. As far as I can tell, Bolt went ahead and fixed that squeaky wheel of yours, Mr. Janus. So we are good to go.
Oh, I'll be sure to thank Bolt on the way out, I say. And I can pay the whole 15 spores, but that only leaves me with
I can pay
two.
for 5.
Yeah, I'll
I mean,
toss 6 in.
well, that's much appreciated. Thanks, lads.
Okay, so Dex
Then
tosses in
I'll
6.
do the remaining
Gus,
4.
yeah, Gus tosses in 5, and Porter tosses in 4. You get the other 15 spurs together. Stripe gives you like a little salute and goes, "All right, well, thanks for traveling with the road banners. You ever need a way through Loner's Pass, you know who to call. All right, let's clear it up. Get ready." And then she takes your spurs, hands some of them off, puts some of them somewhere else, and then opens up a notebook, draws a line through some names, and then goes, Connolly! And like goes walking off towards the saloon.
All right. You know how long until our next Nomad pack gets here?
I
One
think
day.
it's 2.
It's 1.
Is it 1 day? Right. One more day.
Sometime tomorrow, they're coming through.
Yep.
Bud.
I'm gonna go take Sinclair to the DeCastros. I'll see you guys in a little bit.
Can I go with you? I got to park my wagon somewhere.
Oh, sure, yeah, come on.
Yeah, I'll take my car. The window in my car is sort of. I'll be there later. Be there in a minute. It's just the windows squeaky.
What? Really? Do you want me to take a look at that, Gus?
No, I think I can get it.
Oh, okay.
You know what? Actually, it is. Has it? Wait, has it always been squeaky? It's always been squeaky.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah, it's just you hear that, right?
Can't not hear it now.
Hey.
Yeah, Eloise and Porter, you're able to pull up to the DeCastro stables, and Dalton is the one who greets you as you pull up. you see Zach, like there are other people who are traveling in other and like one other trailer. There's also just like a train just departed. Like Waypoint is bustling right now. It takes you a little while actually to get from one end of town to the other, just because there's so much foot traffic and other traffic like around town. But you're able to kind of trot down on Sinclair down the main road and ride on the wagon alongside, and like have to like go single file for a little bit and then back to side, and then single file as you just kind of wait for people to get out of the way, and you make your way to the stables. And Dalton is there. He's checking in someone's like motorcycle, and then like wheeling it up into the garage, takes spur payment from the guy, and then looks up and sees you two coming up, and he goes, "Well, welcome back to town."
Hi. How are you?
Dalton, my favorite De Castro.
Mr. Jane, it's always a pleasure. And as you like jump down from the wagon, he like shakes your hand, and he goes, and Ms. Reynolds, I'm happy to see you back in town. I understand you're going to be putting in some time here. How long are you in town for?
I'm only in town for a day, but you've got me for the full 23 hours.
Oh, all right then. Well, then, oh, I suppose, is this here your...
This is Sinclair. He's on loan. Any Dex or Gus or Porter can also pick him up, and that'd be fine.
Oh, all right. Well, I'll see to it that Zachariah, I mean, he looks a little, look, he could use a wash. Guess he's been riding with the Nomads for some time.
Yeah.
They don't know how to take care of animals. I mean, even I can tell. Right. So,
Dalton.
Mr. Gurley.
Gus pulls up. You hearing this? You hearing this?
It's a wheel going up and down, or a window going up and down. I don't.
It's got a squeak. It's always squeak like this.
Windows sometimes squeak. You want me to fix it for you? I can, but honestly, it ain't. It works. I can fix it for you if you like, if it's bothering you, but it's gonna. I mean, it'll be part of your tab, I suppose.
I don't know. I think my perception of Windows has changed drastically within the last couple of days. If you wouldn't, how much would it be to just fix?
Because I can.
Oh, I'm so
Never
sorry,
mind.
Dalton.
No, I just. It works. It works, Gus. Is the thing.
You know what?
It works.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm probably fine. I'd like to park for a day, please.
Right. Right. So it's gonna be if y'all are only parking for a day, we'll be a spur per vehicle. We can go ahead and do the horse as part of that, and that'll get you guys for the day. If you're needing to just park your vehicles and get this horse washed for a day, and then you leave town again.
Sinclair's gonna, if you have room for him, I'd love for him to stay here so he doesn't have to make the trip.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Zachariah can look after him. Not a problem.
Okay. Just let me know how much, and I'll for I don't know, a month or so.
Oh, sure.
We'll figure it out.
All right. Yeah. And I mean, we can just dock your wages if you like.
That sounds perfect.
Sounds great. All right. Well, you're just putting a day's worth of work. So if you're going to want a whole month's worth of stabling. All right. Well, we got 2 vehicles in right now. So go ahead and pull them back there. We can go ahead and put Mr. Gurley's window on the list, but maybe you just go around back. You'll find a couple more vehicles that need tuning because they're going to be leaving in just a day.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah. So you're going to try and just like work nonstop with like just enough time to sleep for a day at the De Castro stables to earn enough credit to pay
I
for
said 23 hours because I do need to do one other thing in town before we leave.
But are you not going to sleep again?
Are you going to not sleep?
Are you
I'm
going to
not
just
gonna
do, you're going to do another day of not sleeping?
Yeah.
Jesus, Eloise. Okay.
It's 3 days. I definitely slept 2 of those nights.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
but not the most restful of nights. So, but anyways, yeah, go ahead and roll either machinery or technology. I actually think they might be the same for you.
They are the same.
Cool.
I figured it out. This is Eloise's Dark Willow arc.
Yeah. I love that. I love that for her.
I'm excited for the episode where we compare illumination to getting drugs.
Yeah. Then I get to rip somebody's skin off, right? Because you can see that.
Oh no!
Now you see the thing that I didn't point out.
Yeah, cool. That is 5 successes.
Okay. Fantastic. So you get to work right away. And Dalton goes, I'll take the spurs now, or if you're with Ms. Reynolds, then we can tally up at the end of tomorrow, see what she gets done.
That's quite kind. No, I'll pay the spurs. I want as much to go to Sinclair as possible.
All right.
No, I'll drop him the 2 spurs.
Takes the 2 spurs. Since the 2 vehicles are being pulled to the back by Eloise, he takes Sinclair and leads him over to the other side of the stables, where he meets up with Zachariah. And like Zachariah you see Zachariah like look at this horse and like kind of pet it, and then like it's like, this is a nice horse, and like and like takes him in takes him into the stables. And then Dalton turns, and already somebody else is pulling up with like a truck that's like smoking, and Dalton's like, oh shit, and like puts away his rag and like pulls out his tools and is like, oh no, over here and like directs them over that way.
I would like to go talk to Sheriff Fly if he's in his office.
He is not, but after a little bit of searching, you'll find him.
Yeah, I leave like if I can see him, or I can.
Yeah, he's
like,
just around
talk to
town
him.
right now. There's a lot of people in town, and he's dealing with like his duties for such things. But you're able to catch him on the road. As he's walking, he's heading back from the laundry. And he comes around from that kind of like side road that leads to the laundromat. And you catch his eye, and he like nods at you and walks out, walks up to you as you walk to him. He goes, Mr. Bailey.
Sheriff Fly. Get my message?
Remind Tommy what the message was.
It was basically, hey, in case anything happens,
right.
Black
We're
Star
attacked by
Mercenary
Black
Company
Star.
tried to murder us, and probably they were hired by the militia.
That I did. Sounds like you're having a hell of a time out there. That came from Lonesburg. You were quite a ways east. What brings you back these way?
We hitched a ride with the road banners.
All right. Where are you heading to next?
Heading out with the Gray something.
Gray Riders? Yeah, they'll be through town tomorrow.
Process.
All right. Well.
Yeah, Caldwell's lead heads there.
Fair enough.
Caldwell died.
He sits there with that for a second. He goes, sorry to hear that. It's a shame.
Yeah.
Where's Guns at?
He passed them to Gus and made him promise to bring them back to the Legion Guild Hall.
All right. Sounds about right. I ain't heard anything about Black Star in the area, but they're pretty well known for being able to keep a low profile when they want. So I ain't got nothing for you between here and Las Brasas.
Well, hopefully the Nomad pack gives us enough cover to, make it all right.
I would imagine that Henry Fawcett would think twice before taking on Nomad pack as well equipped as the Grey Riders, just to what is it he's sent to kill you by the militia?
Probably me and Porter for sure. I think, definitely want Eloise alive, and they'd probably take Gus alive if they could get him.
Right. Do you have anything beyond your speculation on such things?
I got a wanted, well, not really a wanted poster, a printout of Eloise and Gus's face, and the one on Eloise says priority, and there was no printout for me and Porter, which makes me think they don't care.
Right, well, I mean, if you're willing to hand those over, I can take them, but ain't enough to trace anything back to Brimstone or nothing like that.
No, what makes me think it's Brimstone is we got a glimpse at some tonics in the militia camp that were unlike anything Porter had ever seen. And we took down these Black Star fools, rolled up on us, and they didn't quite have the same thing, but it was pretty close. Porter was pretty confident that it was made from the same stuff.
Okay. Well, if you're able to get anything solid that connects Black Star to Brimstone or the militia or in general, or you're able to find any evidence on Brimstone, you make sure you send anything you can to us. Because once we have something like that, me and Alex can get a hand on the wheel.
Hey, can I ask you something?
Of course.
Actually, I have two totally unrelated questions. More related than I initially thought. First, where does Fawcett own some proto-martyr tech?
Come again?
Yeah, that's what Porter heard through his connections.
You do notice that as you were walking, he stopped when you said that, and his hand did go to right nearby his gun, just kind of his thumb hooked onto his belt. Fawcett's
I have
got
no idea what it is, exactly, other than it's intact, I guess.
Well, turns out that ends up being more than a rumor. You let me know.
Okay.
I don't need any connection to Brimstone or the militia to shoot a son of a bitch dead for harboring some proto-martyr tech.
So you're never in a guild, but I look at you, I see your guns, I don't know if you are, I don't know how you'd be sheriff, but you were a gunslinger, right?
He relaxes a little bit, and you guys continue walking up the hill towards his office. And he goes, I've been called that by many folk, and I suppose to some degree, at least at one point, I definitely thought of myself like that. But at a certain point, it seemed to make a little bit more sense to. Alex, Mayor Graves. She's pretty convincing when it comes to what you can achieve if you hitch on to the vehicle that is Waypoint. And you do things her way a little bit.
Can only imagine having spent a conversation in a room with her and a colonel.
Yeah, she's pretty much always like that.
So when you were,
Mhm.
you traveled with people, right? And they weren't, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, all sorts of traveling companions. When I rolled into town, I was small time. I was good at shooting, but Well, I had a big mouth, and I just, I had a little bit too much fun with it. I think, looking back.
Sorry, I can't. I cannot, Tommy. I cannot.
No, this is just Tommy and Dan reminiscing and chatting about one of Dan's old characters.
I promise I
There's
have
there's a point.
Here's a point. It's just great.
I enjoyed it a little bit too much, I think, looking back. But yeah, I mean, that's the life of a drifter. Sometimes you travel with the same people for a long time, and sometimes it's a new set of faces every time you hit the road.
Right, but if you were a gunslinger, and you said yourself, that's how you thought of yourself. Sometimes you draw a line, right? And that line ain't great for the people around you. What do you do?
Well, I've been fortunate enough not to have to butt heads too often with the people that I traveled with. I got lucky and I chose well. But oftentimes, when you draw a line, you get it set in your head that that's it. It's done. That line's drawn. Ain't nowhere is it writ that you can't draw a new line with new information. Not every line's hard and straight. There's room to improvise along the way. And a lot of times, the most you can do when you're out there is play things on a case-by-case basis.
Thanks.
Not a problem. Just don't go calling me master or nothing.
Feels bad to think about.
Good. Keep it that way. You have a safe trip wherever you on the way to Las Brasas, Mr. Bailey. I wish you well.
I'll let you know what we find.
I'll keep checking.
And I'll peel off and head to the LRC tower.
And he steps up into the sheriff's office, and when he gets there, he stops on the porch for a second. And like as you're like moving, you have to basically turn around. Well, I guess you can go to the end of town and then turn and come back. But he just kind of like sits there and like stares at like the door and like soaks in like the patio, and then walks inside, like just like as if he had to like psych himself up for a second there, and was reminiscing, and then he walks inside.
Yeah, I think I'm too in my own head right now to like try and get a read on what that's about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you make it to the LRC tower, no problem. Porter and Gus, the two of you, up to anything since Eloise is just toiling away at the stables?
Yeah.
Oh, he did want to drop by the pharmacy.
Okay, absolutely.
And just see if I can sell some of these tonics I have.
Okay, and before we jump into that, Gus, you doing anything with your day in Waypoint?
I thought I might stop by and get some dinner at I don't know, where's good to eat around here?
You mean directly across the street from the stables where the Point the Way pub is?
I mean, if it's close, might as well stop in, just give a quick knock on the door,
Yeah. Yeah, you go, you sit down, and where is it? Yeah. Douglas is working right now. Douglas Nagasi, and he a younger man, about like 25. He sets you down, like takes your order. It's gonna cost you a spur to dine here.
Oh, I wasn't trying to, because this is like the morning, right?
It's like morning or early afternoon, like kind of in the middle of the day.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to eat like myself necessarily right now. I was more trying to like make some dinner plans.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so when he comes up and like starts like doing the whole service thing with you, because the Point the Way pub is like packed right now, people just peeling off of the stables. He's like, just the one. If you won't mind belling it up to the bar.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
And then like he leaves for like 10 minutes, then comes back, is like, oh, can I get you anything?
Whatever you think I'd like. Actually, no. I'll just have a beer for now. Just a beer for now. And this is so embarrassing as Roman. I have forgotten the name of the proprietor of the Point the Way pub.
Saoirse Payne.
This is not Saoirse Payne. That's right. I was like, how is my girlfriend not in my notes?
It's in the notes of your heart.
It's in the notes of my heart, but sometimes they're hard to read and blurry. I was like, it's like, oh, actually, I was hoping, is Saoirse in? Just wanted to talk with her for a minute.
Miss Payne is in. I can call for her. She's off until later this evening. But who should I tell her is asking?
Oh, Gus Gurley.
All right. Yeah. Well, here's your beer, Mr. Gurley. I'll go ahead and see if I'll send word. I can't guarantee. She might not even be upstairs.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
And about 30 minutes pass. He checks in like very briefly to like make sure you didn't want beer or food, and then like is like, yeah, I think she's around. I think she Edgar said he would pass along the message, and then like goes off, and then about like 30 minutes in, you get a tap on your shoulder. So they're like nursing like an empty beer like pint. There's a tap on your shoulder.
Oh, hey, Edgar, good to see you.
And,
no, I don't need anything. I'm good.
And she goes, don't need anything.
Oh, well, I mean, now that I know that the... Hi. Hi, Saoirse. It's nice to see you.
Good to see you too, Mr. Gurley.
I didn't want to. I don't know. Y'all are so busy. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but yeah, we're just in Waypoint for the day, and then we're heading out. And I thought it might be nice to have some nice warm food and some nice warm conversation with someone who's good at both.
Well, I am set to work the evening here, but it gets pretty dead late at night. If you're comfortable with a late dinner, we could talk while I'm on the clock. I ain't got
Yeah.
Maggie Joe's cousin gave birth to triplets, so she ain't working. And
Oh, I didn't think she was due for another couple months now.
well, no one did, but here we are.
Oh, Maggie
turns
Joe
out
triplets.
turns out maybe she was she just was a little untruthful about when she knew she was pregnant.
Oh goodness, you're gonna have to give me all the updates tonight.
Mhm.
I cannot wait to hear the new scuttlebutt.
I mean, O'Donovan's clinic ain't too far, and his voice does carry when he's mad, which is often.
Yeah, I have heard that from various establishments around town. I'd always thought the medical news was supposed to be a little more private than it is in Waypoint.
Thank God there is no HIPAA on Manifest.
Well, then it's a date. I will see you tonight. Come in late. The crowd will get kind of slow after the last train of the night passes through. It'll be pretty quiet, and I won't have. I'll have plenty of time to bend your ear about old Maggie Joe and her and her husband's illustrious affair prior to their wedding.
Oh, that sounds like quite the tale. I cannot wait, Saoirse. It's good to see you again.
I'll see you tonight. Porter, you go to the clinic where O'Donovan is.
Right.
Yelling about someone's rash. Just screaming.
Mr. Janus, how can I help?
Dr. O'Donovan, good to see you. I am just here for the evening. I thought I might drop by. I've got a plethora of tonics that you might be interested in.
You got a list?
Yeah.
All right, come on the table.
I made one up on the way. I'll toss it down.
He lays it out. And what is it? What is it you have?
I've got 2 healing tonics. It's the +6 hit points with the IBS and shortness of breath. I have 2 of those.
Okay.
I've got 2 antitoxins. I've got 2 +1 muscle skills. I think those are the ones that I'm offering up for him today.
2 tier 2 tonics. And then 3 tier 1 tonics. Is that what I heard? Or no, the attributes is a tier 2. So.
Right. It's let me make sure it's attribute. Oh, and 2 antidotes. I'll give that one too.
Okay. I just need to
So
know the
that's,
tiers. These are all high quality. I know. I just need to know the tiers of these tonics.
Yeah, I didn't write down the tiers. I only wrote down the quality.
Aha.
So
Well, the six healing and the attribute are both tier 2.
Mhm.
The
and the healing is standard. Because those we got off of the
right. Okay.
The people. So those are standard, and the antitoxins are also standard.
Okay.
They have 2 side effects, which makes it tier 1, right? If they're standard.
That means it's tier 2 if they're standard.
That's tier 2.
I don't remember if antitoxin is a tier 1 or 2 property though.
Antitoxin is a tier 1 property. It is stackable though. You didn't
So
write,
if it's got 2 side effects, then right, it's probably a tier 2 that's standard quality.
or it's a poor quality tier 1. You said it was standard quality.
It's definitely standard.
Okay,
quality.
cool. Then
Yeah,
yes, it is tier
right.
2.
Good.
Okay.
So that's let's see, 2 tier 2s.
Okay.
4 tier 2s. And then 2 tier 1s. And then muscle skills you said was also tier 1, right?
Skills is tier 1, yeah.
Yeah.
So 4 tier 2 tonics on the table, and then how many tier 1?
And 4 tier 1.
Okay.
I just realized we still had those 4 euphoria tonics. You're just hanging on to the drugs just in case.
In case you never know, you know they're good for specifically what I do, so I feel like it's smart.
All right.
Might have a party one night. I don't know.
That sounds fun.
Hey,
Hey, Saoirse, do you want to come back to a rave?
all right. So, he goes, for this lot, you looking for spurs or supplies?
They're low on spores at the moment. I could do with I'm thinking perhaps. So we said 4 of each, right?
Yeah.
What do you say to about? Wait, I'm trying to remember because I don't have the chart in front of me, but I'm thinking fair price for tier 2 would be like 5 spurs. Is that right?
You know that he's going to give you a fair price. He just needs to know.
You're
You're
muted, Tommy.
muted. Sorry.
Oh, I'm
At
muted
least for
myself.
us.
You're muted in Discord.
It's because I was typing things on my number pad, and one of the buttons on my number pad does mute me.
Oh.
Handy.
Okay. So I was asking, you know that he's going to give you a fair price. So it's just a matter of, do you want a split of, he asked, do you want trade or do you want spurs?
Spores.
All spurs? All right. Well, I'd give you about, for a lot of this, honestly, I do need one of these. I'd do 15 spurs.
Okay, all right. 15 spores if that's all you can spare, but if that's as high as it'll go, I think I could take a couple of more things in trade, don't you? These are quite good quality. I mean, I know they at the nothing less than standard for you, my friend.
Yeah, well, there are a couple of them that seem to be standard, and these side effects are a doozy. But if you wanna do a little trade, I'd do 12 spurs and 2 first aid cubes.
What about 13 spores and 3 first aid cubes?
Go ahead and roll manipulate at a -2.
Because he's worked with me before, he knows my wiles. Oh. Alright, that's enough. Why are you like this? I'm going to play to the gallery. Spending 2 of those 2 of those grit. So that I may count this 12.
Okay, you're currently up against an 8.
No. That's just one net success then, because I rolled a 7 and 12 and a 5 and a 3.
I ain't moving above 12 spurs if I'm throwing in first aid cubes. But sure, I'll throw in another one for you. If it gets you out of my fucking hair.
I always enjoy our talks, Dr. O'Donovan. I'll take that deal. Shake on it.
Never shake. And
It's unsavory.
I think Porter knows that, and he did that on purpose.
And he puts down 12 spurs and collects up supplies for 3 first aid cubes. And then says, "All right, go on, get the fuck out of here."
Cheers, thanks so much. And say hi to I wrote his apprentice's name down somewhere, but I couldn't find the page. So say hi to him, jolly good fellow. Treat him better, he deserves it.
The fuck you say to me? As the door shuts. Connor Oakley, that's his name.
Good old Connor.
All right, perfect.
And then I think I'm just going to make sure to check my messages at the NRC tower before I head back to bed.
Okay, cool. So Porter and Dex, you actually end up basically meeting up at the LRC tower. Gus is at the Point the Way pub. Eloise is hard at work, beginning her basically like 22 or 23 hour shift at the De Castro stables, of which she got 5 net successes. So that's going to be resolved. All of that's going to be resolved next time. as the lot of you start to settle in for a day in Waypoint. Dex and Porter checking their messages. Gus at the Point the Way pub. Right now, I don't believe any of you have residence here, right? Because you've been gone long enough. Like, you closed down your tab or your room. So... Nowhere to sleep for the night as far... Well, Eloise isn't sleeping. But...
And I think Gus has a place to sleep for the night.
You don't
Just
know.
curl up in a ball in my cape.
But that's all to be resolved as we pick up next time. We're ending the episode there, or at least ending the actual play there, and moving on into the Q&A. We have a couple questions I see in the stream chat that we'll get to. And let's go ahead and take a look at the questions we have in the Discord, because I know we got a few. All right. So, Argalam has another character for us to build. It is Ren from Phantasy Star 4. How would we build Ren from Phantasy Star 4 in Manifest? Notable traits are android physiology makes him damn near unkillable. Wields what can best be described as siege weaponry in one hand, and is a master of technology. I mean, that just sounds like durability, brawn, and know-how all together.
Yeah. You got Speak Softly for sure.
Yeah. Speak Softly is Speak Softly the one that just gives you the bonus? Is it the lead-in? Forget.
No, it's the
one?
payoff.
Okay, yeah. So Speak Softly being tier 3
Yeah.
tier 3 talent that lets you wield two-handed weapons with one hand.
Man, if I had one character who, if he had gotten more time, would have been riding around on a jetpack with 2 Darth Maul swords that I think may or may not have been chain powered. It was a wild boy.
God. Yeah, so that handles the whole like wielding giant guns in one hand or giant weaponry in one hand, because Speak Softly doesn't actually necessarily have to be guns or melee. It's any two-handed weapon. You can wield it with one hand.
You can get wild with heavy firearms if you want.
Yeah. And then so that's from the Brawn tree, and then damn near unkillable. I mean, if you go deep enough into hardiness, you kind of become a little bit unkillable.
You can also, like, there's nothing stopping you from totally replacing most of your body with cybernetic implants.
Yeah, it's just very costly, is all.
Yeah, but like,
but if you have
can.
the know-how talent,
it doesn't quite make you. It doesn't make you nearly as unkillable as just having the brawn tree or the hardiness tree does. But like, you can get your cool android stuff for sure.
Yeah, and one thing, if you want to become even more unkillable, like one thing you can do is you can add armoring to each of your cybernetics, which increases you have more armor points basically.
Oh, sure, yeah. I forgot about that. Has anyone ever done that in playtests?
No, I think for the most part everyone always ended up.
Everyone's trying to like cram like cool gadgets and stuff into their limbs, right?
Yeah.
Eloise has the extra armoring on her armor, which is
right, because it's power armor, so it acts as
a prosthetic.
Okay.
Yeah, it just gives you 2 additional armor, and you can put it on each.
You can do that, and then wear armor.
Yeah. And then you just have a fuckload of, like, you can get to, if you have like all of the, like if you have a limb, right? It can go on each of your limbs. So that's 8. You can get to 20 armor points before you even take into account, I think maybe there's a hardiness tree. No, hardiness can just give you extra toughness. Well, if you get shield master,
which is extremely good.
If you wanted to wield a shield, you could use shield master, and that gives you 4 additional armor points that are special.
Walking around
points.
with 24 armor, 6 toughness,
24 armor, 6 toughness. And the ability to, when you go to 0 hit points, just stand up once per rest. After you go to 0 hit points, just stand up fully healed. So yeah, that seems like a pretty good way to become a robot person who refuses to die.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then the know-how tree is pretty self-explanatory. If you're a master of technology, we've seen it with Eloise. Just look at Eloise, you see it. And then we have a question from one.
There is a second question.
Oh yeah, there is.
There.
I know that armor can come with a lot of fun and unique modifications. Can power armor be fitted with a jetpack, or does one just have to equip that separately? Jetpack is a vehicle; it's not an armor mod.
You can get like pogo leg. It's not called pogo leg, but like it's a hydraulic leg, right?
The Inspector Gadget springs. Yeah.
There is, yes.
Tiered manifest pirate.
You can put on your power armor the hydraulics mod, which does make you jump real good.
you could get like sort of a leg assisted takeoff.
Yeah.
Like assisted.
Link's glider from Breath of the Wild, and like
there's
super
nothing
jump and leg assisted takeoff.
there's nothing stopping you from being very illuminated somatically, having super jump, and then also having hydraulic legs.
And then you do jump over the punch peaks in a single bound.
Jump your ass to orbit, which is a nice segue to our next question.
Which is from Squonk, aka Seth. Seth asks, hi Seth, you ask, what's the minimum amount of time it would take for manifestors to become a spacefaring people again? Traveling through the wormhole seems cool and everything, but you want to take manifests old West culture interstellar, and you say cowpokes in space. It would probably be a sequel rather than a prequel.
Singing about cowpokes in space.
So we'll start.
Just watch Serenity. I can tell you have that itch.
And we'll go ahead and lump the second question in here because I'm gonna toss all of this over to Addie. Second question is, are there habitable / terraformable planets in the manifest system? So all that together, how long would it take for manifestors to become spacefaring again? And are there any habitable or terraformable planets in the manifest system?
Yeah, tell me, Addie.
So I guess my first question, Seth, is do you want the space flight to be successful?
Preferably.
I think a really important follow-up question is like, how realistic a socio-political shift are we talking here towards space flight?
No, but seriously, the answer is probably like 3rd edition. Yeah. So basically, Manifest is on the whole still pretty much in survival mode. And the Factory Wars destroyed so much of the requisite knowledge to, like space engineering and air scrubbing and kind of all the very cool sci-fi, things that that make a spaceship. There have been a few attempts by some very crazy people to go into space. But the society as a whole is like, at best, if like a library was like making it their focus, they're like, we're talking about like the Gemini missions at best in like 30 years.
Wow.
Like, yeah, basically it's so many people on Manifest are still struggling just to live on Manifest. They're not thinking we should go up there. It must be better.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's actually why I sort of made my point, because I think if in a totally unrealistic shift, United Manifest decides we're going to space, they're less than a decade from like space flight.
Yeah, but
Like they would not
That's a
do
huge
that.
thing to ask of the
No,
planet.
that will
Yeah.
not happen. But like
yeah.
there's so many really cool niche technologies that are like the grav stability harness, right? Is like, oh, this is a fun parachute in case I gotta jump out of something. That's gravity manipulation as a technology that they use for parachutes.
Yeah, and they could probably mash something together, but there's also not a lot of like the metals that
Yeah, like there
were
can't like
used.
in my 10 years, like United
Yeah.
Manifest is cannibalizing its entire civilization to go to space.
Yeah, they would basically have to take down all the skyscrapers out of Ion Harbor, or like find a fully intact one in the Heartwood Forest, or something like
And like
that.
there's definitely not one in the giant poison lake.
There's
Don't look for
not.
it.
Nope, it's not underneath.
There's
there.
no reason to look in
nothing
there at all.
underneath there. But yeah, so for civilization to stabilize enough to get that evolution is still probably 50 years away.
Wow.
Like some crazy people are gonna start doing it. Like people are gonna build those like barn door rocket ships that people build in their cornfields or whatever. But like it's not gonna go very well. As for
It's sooner than I thought. I was expecting like centuries.
No, I mean, they have all the requisite technology. They just have to understand it first. So if they put in a concerted effort to do so, they could, but they would have the kind of space flight that we have. It wouldn't be sort of like the generation ships or even like SpaceX that like we,
They don't get a cool spaceship. They strap something to a rocket and launch it into the sky.
and then they like hope they come back.
And then it falls down. Yeah.
They've only got one landing spot, and it's a giant swamp, and it's like, oh my god, there's a snollygoster there, and it's gonna eat us. Okay, well that was fun. Yay, space.
Seth, could I interest you in? I could blink into the moon this afternoon.
But
please don't.
As far as planets that are habitable, like there are none currently. So basically, when the wormhole opened, they looked around and they were like, wow, none of these are habitable except for that one. And oh my gosh, it has an element 0. Cool, we'll take it. And everybody was like, gold rushing down, and they weren't really thinking about like a sustainability at all. They were like, we're gonna eat this planet dry, goodbye. Whee! Because corporations and capitalism is evil and all that good stuff. And so
we're all living here right now. We get it.
Yeah, but there are, first of all, there are the 2 moons, which you could put like one of the like bubble domes on it. Like the moons are certainly like, they're like similar to our Luna, which is like people could build a thing.
You could put a
there.
habitat there.
You could have a space base, a moon base, Moonraker.
If you want to put the resources into it, sure.
Yeah. And then there are a few other planets in the solar system. Some are too hot, some are too cold. And one happens to be pretty acidic. So you could, depending on how we decided to do terraforming, but like even just like doing like, hey, let's go live on Mars, and then like let's make Mars like the Expanse does it, where like years over years, like you're creating O2 from like boiling, literally like electrocuting water, and then like scrubbing the carbon out of it, like to create a sustainable ecosystem. Like that's there, but like, why would you do that when you could just live here and grow a plant?
There's so much empty space in the Badlands, you guys.
So then
if you build a road,
tiny.
So like if there's like a space
tiny
cult,
verbal follow-up.
yeah.
Yeah, they all decided to do it. Yeah, okay.
There's a space
Tiny
cult,
small follow. Does
guys.
that mean that? Does that mean that there's a technological boom happening concurrently on Earth right now that could feasibly be like sci-fi level shit because they mined luminescence from Manifest and brought it back to Earth?
Well, for one thing, we
Um,
don't know that the home planet is Earth. They don't remember the name of the home planet.
That's right. That's true. Yeah.
But
This
Lost
is
to
entirely
time.
my own theory. I think they built 2 giant guns and shot them at each other and blew up the whole planet.
So theoretically, yes.
And then it became
But
Planet of the
there's
Apes.
no proof. Also, when the wormhole closed, maybe luminescence stopped working.
Wow.
yeah, there's
Um,
been literal no sign of anything from the home world for 400 years.
So, like, maybe they were like, we know where Manifest is. We found it. We're going to get in a big generations ship with our element 0 and blast off, and we'll see you in 600 years. And then you could have like variant humans arriving in 4th edition. But like,
Sounds
there's
like
no way to
aliens.
know.
Mm.
They're
Yeah,
not
dope.
alien. They're humans.
Depending on your
Evolution.
perspective, they're aliens.
But like,
Variant human has a new attribute: pizza.
they get a feet. So, but yeah,
Third and a
basically,
fourth foot.
to answer your question, maybe, like, there's no confirmation either way. It could be that, like, because luminescence is so intrinsic to Manifest that like the wormhole was able to bridge the gap, and then when the wormhole closed, that was it. Or maybe luminescence is like an invasive rock and like took over the entire planet and ruined its ecology. Or
Wow.
Ooh, doing a
maybe they
Command
were
and
able
Conquer
to
thing.
or maybe they were able to harness it, and now it's like the Jetsons. Who knows?
Wow.
There's no way to know, and I think it's fun to speculate.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Big guns.
yes. Also, the 2 big guns theory.
The 2 big guns, Planet of the Apes. You blew it up, Dan. It was Earth all along, except for profit.
Argetlam then asks in the Discord, considering the fact that I just dealt with 90 minutes of no electricity, but I do own a solar powered generator and 2 panels, how many tech/machinery cubes would it take to build a solar panel and attendant battery?
I did this last campaign.
Oh yeah, you made like the hybrid thing for the
Yeah. Hold up, I could just find it. And tell you.
Well, that was enough to power the to help not even power the whole plane, but help supplement some of the fuel requirements of the plane, right? So
Yeah. But like, it's a really good baseline, right?
yeah.
It is 1 machinery and 3 tech cubes to make the hybrid power module for a land vehicle.
I think it's the same for air.
which is probably the same for air. But it makes you, given that a D20 has 20 numbers on it, gives you a +2. It makes your car 10% more fuel efficient. So, like, I would guess if you just multiply that by like 5,
Yeah.
you could run a house for like a day or something.
That sounds about right. Yeah. I'd say 5 machinery cubes and 15 tech cubes would give you some solar power for your house. Cannon.
All right. Sometimes these ones are easy.
Yeah. I mean, an electric partially powered plane is still incredible. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of times that is a thing in Manifest a lot. Like whenever like someone is trying to make something that it doesn't have like explicit rules, or in a situation like this isn't necessarily something that would fully be a specialty item, right? It's just like I want to put stuff together and make a thing. Like I'm Eloise. Hi, I want to make a solar panel like generator for like this like habitat that we have, so that if the power gets cut, we're good or whatever. As a GM,
I also want to point out, I actually don't know the answer to this. Maybe you can clarify, Tommy. Like, I've always assumed the like fuel like it's not gasoline, right? Because they're not pulling crude oil up out of the ground. Like I assumed basically everything on Manifest runs on electricity.
Yeah, it's some form of like energy that is either it's
Right, like
effectively
the fuel turns into.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
It's not oil, it's not anything like that. It's some kind of energy, mostly luminescent based.
I thought it was always like luminescent slurry. like how there's like runoff and stuff when like that's called slag when you mine coal, because when you dig you have to like pressurize it with water so that there isn't a fire, and so I always just kind of assumed that slurry had just enough luminescence for it to be cubed in like a water, like in a gas
capsule,
can,
and you
basically.
just put it in your car.
Yeah, and then you just like it gets like hydrolyzed or whatever, and then like you just and it's like me for a while.
Yeah, I've always
until
assumed
it needs to be recharged, and that's kind of always what I thought it would be.
Yeah, I've always assumed like when you're changing out fuel in a car or any vehicle on Manifest, like you're changing a power cell, not like getting your gas can and like stopping at the pump.
Yeah, exactly.
Alternate pitch. Fuel cubes are NOS.
Listen, I'm on board, so now it's 2 against 2.
Brian, twin cubes O'Connor.
This is dumb. We have to stop.
But the thing I was saying about like a lot of times as a GM in Manifest, your players will be like, "Hey, we want to put stuff together," because that's like how making general like items work. Like if like Eloise was like, I wanna build a flashlight, and I didn't make her do anything because she has an Omni tool, and so the Omni tool just kind of like helps kind of cover the base there, and like part of the Omni tool can be a flashlight. But let's say she didn't have an Omni tool and she found herself in the dark, and she's like, I want a flashlight. I would go, do you have a tech cube? And then she'd go, yeah. I'd be like, okay, cool. Turn that tech cube into a flashlight. You're done. You have a flashlight now. And then she would write a flashlight in her inventory. That's like the baseline of how it works. And that just scales up like with complexity. I had one time.
Somebody made really like the gravity traps at the Battle of Waypoint, right? That like they were like electromagnetic repulsors laid underneath the dirt. So when the power armored proto-martyrs stepped over them, they got launched into the air.
Did they get launched in the air? I thought they got pulled to the ground. They got shoved up in the sky.
I think it did both, maybe.
He could choose. He could decide. He could decide if it was positive or negative.
Yeah, I think that's right.
That sounds right.
Up with that.
Yeah. So like
I created like a pedal powered push car so we could.
That's the
travel
best thing we ever did.
They were in a very hot part of the Badlands, and they were like, "What if we just?" Like, I'm like, okay, you're going to roll endure at like a -8. And they're like, what if we made, use all of these materials?
A bar bicycle cart. Yeah. Instead of the bar, it was just the thing.
Yeah. And it like had like misters and stuff too. It was like a mobile like palanquin that was like, that was like pedal powered. It was hilarious. And as a GM, I just had to go, okay, let me come up with that. And like you make it more complex if it's something that actually gives like super mechanical benefits. But a lot of times if it's something that just like allows it, like someone making something that just like lets there be power, like, okay, you don't have to go too crazy on it. But what I do every time that comes up is I think about something in the book that is close and then I augment it, right? So exactly what Dan did is my usual process. I'd be like, all right, there's something that does this already to a small degree. Let me just look at that and then kind of build off of it based on the complexity and magnitude of what the player's attempting to achieve. I think for the like palanquin like bicycle mister thing, I looked at a car and like added like a tech cube on there for like the water spritzers or something. And was like, this is fine.
I didn't have enough to make a car.
Yeah, it was less because there's not an engine or anything like that. I like took a car, I cut it down a few cubes and then threw a tech cube in there too. And was like, there you go.
That's such a wild like indicator of what very high level manifest is, because like that's when we were playtesting what very high level manifest looks like. And like legitimately we were traveling in a van and then we had to go up on a plateau. We got up to the plateau, we couldn't take the van, and Addie was like, I guess I just build a whole car right now to get us ready to go.
Yeah, I ate it was more than quartered. I aced the time because I mastered the talent master crafter.
Mhm.
So I had an omni tool which halves it, and then I had the master crafter which halves it again, and then I cut corners which halves it again. So it takes a class 3 item.
If it's probably a class 3
which
item.
takes 3 days normally, and then I made it like
a day and a
18
half down
hours
to
or
like
something. Yeah.
it's a day and a half down to like 16 hours.
Yeah.
Down to 8.
Yeah. I just like stayed up overnight because that's what all my characters do apparently.
Yeah.
Listen, if you're crafting, you just stay up overnight. You don't sleep, you do drugs instead.
Yeah, I think it becomes 9 hours on a class 3 item if you have all of those talents and the gear to make it so you can cut it down that much.
Yeah,
it's wild.
Amazing.
Yeah, so that's a fun little little tip there. And then we had 2 in the chat. One was from Carnaxis. Carnaxis asks, can a tonic with an undesirable side effect be refined to remove or change the effect? The short answer is no, though there is a property when you're making a tonic that can reduce or eliminate the side effects. It just makes the tonic more complex and harder to make. But you can be like, I want to make this like tier 3 tonic, but I don't want it to have like 3 side effects. Let me go ahead and make it a tier 4 tonic so that I can either reduce it down to 1 side effect or completely eliminate the side effect. So like that's a way to do it. But once a tonic's made, it's just done. And sometimes like it basically, Porter has the privilege of the tier 1 talent pharmacist that allows you to choose your side effects for your tonics. So you can get creative and be like, oh, I want this one to be this. I think it'd be funny to do this, right? You can decide which side effects you think are either most narratively interesting or least detrimental to your party. Like you can go really, really like a power gaming on it. Like you can be like, this person doesn't need like determination stuff. This is an urban environment. We're not using like survival.
Tenacity.
What's up?
Tenacity.
Yeah. Sorry. What did I say? The old name?
Determination.
Yeah. So like, this is like, I'm going to go ahead and make it so the side effects are negatives to like tenacity attribute or tenacity skill. And now they can drink this tonic and never have to really worry about it coming into play because we all drive cars and we're in a factory town. And this person doesn't need to know if anyone's lying to them or they have playing the player. And so like you can get like very choosy on that, or you can be kind of silly and be like, I think it'd be funny if Dex couldn't talk. Because I think Porter did that, right? And was like, and put mute on a thing because he thought it would be funny if someone had to go mute. I don't know if it was Dex, it may have been Gus.
No, it was laughing for Gus because the thought of this giant man laughing uncontrollably is comical.
Yeah, and so like you can choose like that's all well and good, but the thing is, if you don't have the pharmacist talent from the know-how talent tree, sometimes
you're stuck with a tonic that as soon as you drink it leaves you unable to catch your breath and not in control of your bowels.
And you just roll randomly, and then sometimes you have tonics that are like end up being like the kind of ones you as a peddler want to sell to someone and maybe exaggerate its usefulness and be like, don't ask me about the side effects. I'm going to leave town before you drink it. Right?
Is it still possible to have a healing tonic where the side effect is it hurts you for the same amount?
Sort of. It's gut rot.
Not the same amount.
Well, so yes, if it's gut rot. Well, the way gut rot works, basically
gut rot was 1 hit point.
No, gut rot's 3.
Huh. The more you know.
So it's just bad water.
So basically, there did in one of the earlier play editions of the game, like the earlier versions, one of the possible side effects was just that you took 3 damage. And then it became clear that meant that there was a chance that you would make a tier 1 tonic that heals 3 hit points that also just deals 3 hit points of damage to you, and it's completely useless. And I was like, well,
extremely cheesable for like, this is a good tonic, and like it gives them euphoria at tier 4 and they take 12 damage.
Yeah. And so the final iteration of that is there's gut rot. Gut rot is a side effect where you pay grit to not take damage. So so you if a tonic has gut rot, you spend 1 grit or take 3 hit point damage. So still, in a technical sense, it is possible for you to have a tier 1 tonic that you drink and deals 3 hit points to you. But the only way that that's not a choice that you made is if you have 0 grit.
And you don't know what you're drinking.
And you don't know what you're drinking. And then good old Dunk Clock asks, which is you, Rowan, right? Asks,
Yeah, sure is.
Is there a mint or federal bank on Manifest that regulates and produces spurs?
Was curious.
I'm looking at you, Addie, because I know
Okay, cool.
my answer to this, but you might have more detail.
Oh no, what if I get it wrong? There is not a federal anything actually, because all of the city, all of the factory towns are their own like entities, like
Greek nation states.
Yeah.
basically.
Mhm.
So but there is a like authority, I guess that's what you would call it. There's basically the Treasury Department. It's basically the Secret Service.
Yeah, it's part of
Okay.
the Treaty of Alana because part of the Treaty
Yeah.
of Alana was creating a global currency.
Yeah. And so there are different mints, one in each city, but they are like allotted an amount that they are allowed to print. And spurs used to be made of spurs, but now they're made like just like pennies used to be copper. They are made with an alloy that the like Treasury Department, Secret Service people like provide to them. So if you're being like bad and there's like censure against your city state, the Treasury won't give you any more money to print. So you can have what's it called when you
You're being
Inflation.
sanctioned.
is it sanctions? It must be sanctions.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing that never works and only penalizes the people. They can do that.
Interesting.
Uh,
I was wondering if there could be like a president of the Treasury who could go mad and create a half spur.
So the one thing is the not to completely but the one thing is the whole legend that spurs were actually made of spurs isn't entirely accurate. Because
You weren't there.
and it's because the alloys that they use it's like a high tech thingy mabopple, basically. It's spaceanium. But basically it gives off the way you can tell a spur is authentic. The way they authenticate spurs is that the alloy gives off just a small radiological signature. Because
Everything that went through the wormhole got irradiated in this special way, and so things that are from wormhole times have like this thing, and that's what they make spurs out of. And so whenever you find like an old spaceship, you can like you're rich.
It's literally you struck gold. You struck
Mm.
actual. They make money out of this stuff.
Literally print money. It's awesome.
God,
Pretty much.
you can tell that Roland still lives in in a small corner in the back of my brain because I just want to impersonate a treasury agent and make like a replica of this radiological detector and like go to the treasury and be like, just scan it over and it doesn't beep. I'm like, what are you doing here? This is all counterfeit money. I have to confiscate it.
It's a good grift.
That's solid.
God, that's good. It's a Roy Hampton move.
Yeah, I think that's it for questions. I don't see I don't see any other in the chat. It is past midnight. We're gonna end the stream. We went very late tonight. So we're just gonna call it here. No raid, nothing like that. All of you get some sleep. What are you doing? Thank you all for watching.
Hang up for Loki.
Oh, stay up for Loki. Okay, fine. So we are gonna be back.
I have one thing. So on Friday, Tommy and I are going to be playing Among Us on a big co-stream, and you can catch that on Tommy's Twitch channel. For all the details, you can go to twitch.tv/jollyponcho.
Actually, it's technically today, but by my standards, tomorrow. The 15-person Among Us lobbies come out.
Wow.
And so this Friday we're going to be joining it's at least 13 other, or I guess there's 2 of us, at least 12 other streamers, maybe 13 other streamers, to play a 14 or 15 person Among Us lobby.
It's going to be nuts.
So yeah, go check. You can find that on the Jolly Poncho. It's going to be at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, or 7:30 our time.
So if you're feeling up to it, just go ahead and have one quick drink that we outlived at the TV show called Manifest.
Yes.
I saw that and I was like, suck it.
CO ahoy, baby.
Our legacy is eternal. All right, fantastic. We are going to be back Tuesday, June 22nd. We're gonna see these drifters leave Waypoint. Oh, what's up? Is there a reason why you're making a face at it? Am I wrong?
I don't know.
What?
I don't think you're wrong.
Okay.
Did you say the 22nd? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think you're fine.
Yeah.
I think you're fine. I just had a moment.
Okay.
It's next Tuesday. People are smart. They'll figure it out.
There is the biggest moth that I have ever seen, just like ramming itself against the window right there. And it's been all night very distracting. I was having 2 conversations, and then a moth was trying to dive bomb me through a window the entire time.
The 22nd, 8 o'clock Central Time. We will be back. We'll see these 4 drifters exit Waypoint and maybe make it to Las Brasas.
It ain't real.
We're
gonna get to Las Brasas and it's gonna be Tobias Station.
It's gonna be like the eastern part of Tobias Station.
Las Brasas? You mean East Tobias Station?
All right. With that, we're ending it for tonight. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll catch you next week. I hope you all have a good evening and rest of the week. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Enjoy Loki.
Bye-bye.
I'm watching The Mandalorian.